There it is, Raiders headquarters, Intermountain Health Performance Center. It is a hot day here in Henderson, Nevada. It's even hotter inside. Welcome in, everybody. It is the 2026 Raiders Media Day. I'm Amber Theoharis. We are going to have all of the stars coming through our set here on the field, in the field house. So glad to be back with you as we get ready for this season. Oh, I'm not going to do this show alone. I'm going to have my teammates with me. We're going to have Maxx Crosby. We're going to have Fernando Mendoza. We're going to have Brock Bowers, John Spytek, Klint Kubiak, all of them right here. But first, let's bring in my co-hosts, our Emmy-nominated friends. First, we say hello to James Jones, Super Bowl champion. 2012, he led the NFL in touchdowns. You know he's from the Bay Area. What's up, JJ?
What's up, Amber?
I was going to say weighing in at 240, but he says he's going to be down to 230 by the time the season starts. Good to see you, my friend.
Lean and mean. What's up, young lady?
Oh, and you know we can't do our show without the Hall of Famer, part of the 2025 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. We say hello to Eric Allen. This man had 54 interceptions. 9 of them. Oh, he's got the glasses on. A little John Travolta. 9 of those interceptions. He ran back for a touchdown. That is the man right there with the white jacket on. What is up, EA? Good to be back with you, my friend. I like the sunglasses.
Oh, yeah,
the white jacket.
WWE style.
That boy swagged out. That boy swagged out.
The future's so bright. You had to wear shades. The Raiders' future's so bright.
Sure.
It's good to be back with both of you. So excited for this Raiders Media Day. So much hype around Raider Nation. The national media is all here inside Henderson, Nevada to talk about the Raiders. We're going to have John Spytek. We're going to have Fernando Mendoza, who already has had his rookie minicamps. They have OTAs. They're going to be on the practice field over the next couple of days.
Right.
But just first, because it's been a minute since we've seen you guys. The last time we were together, we were talking about the draft.
Yeah.
Now we've had a little time to process that. What are you most excited, EA, about for this season coming up?
Well, obviously, the cupboards are not bare. And that's the one thing. Usually when you have the #1 pick, you look at the roster, and it's like, man, we have to overhaul this roster. There's a lot of talented football players on this roster. Of course, the free agency class, I love the fact that we got guys who have experience in big games. You have a center, I think, who is going to do amazing things with this offense. More importantly, stability with the GM, with the head coach for the first time since we've been in Vegas. I think this is a situation where all levels are all on the same page.
You know, as an offensive player, you know, we want to say quarterback. I'm looking forward to this defense now. I mean, it's a lot of big-time players we added to the defense, starting in the middle with Quay Walker. You got Nakobe Dean next to him. We were able to keep Maxx Crosby. I think this defense is going to be an elite defense. And we seen the team that won the Super Bowl last year had an elite defense. So I'm looking forward to see this defense, man, fly around and hit some people the old Raider way back in EA day.
Oh, yeah.
Extra emphasis on old. You know, and I'm glad you brought that up, JJ, because ESPN had rankings out, and they were ranking the best position groups for each team that have improved.
Yep.
And out of all position groups, the Raiders linebackers were number 2.
Yeah.
Should be number 1. Who was number 1? You remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's my knowledge.
Matter. They shouldn't be as good as the Raiders.
And I think that goes a long way with understanding, like, the middle of the football field is so important. We talk about versatility, players who are able to play all 3 downs, but more importantly, those red dot guys who are going to have to be able to take the game, process it quickly, get the instructions out to their other teammates, and it all really starts there on defense, being able to understand your formations, knowing what you've done in practice. These guys have done it at the highest level, and that's what I love about this free agency class that particularly isolate on our linebackers.
And then even the mindset. Did y'all see Quay Walker doing drills? Quay Walker came off them bag drills, and he was hitting the coach. Man, looked like he was hitting Adrian Peterson. But just the mindset that he is going to bring in the middle, Nakobe Dean, it's going to be excited to see those two fly around. And those are every down linebackers, too, that can cover and come downhill and hit you.
And a lot of excitement around Rob Leonard being promoted to defensive coordinator. And Yeah, I think you'll appreciate this. One of the things he has said he wanted to do was teach. And so not just let's show you how to line up and cover two, it's why do you do it? What is it? What's the philosophy behind it? How much does that help a defense when you kind of get a little bit deeper on the theory of why you're doing that defense?
A couple things, and I think I've had great conversations with Rob Leonard going way back when he was, the defensive line coach, and always trying to get some keys and cues on what he's trying to do to be successful. And one of the things that always popped out with me with Rob wasn't about just teaching it. It wasn't about showing it. It was about involving the player and what you're trying to get him to do. That's how you're going to remember it. It's going to be a opportunity for that guy to understand, like, this is the reason why he's asking me to do this over and over again, to develop that great move and then have that counter off that. And that's kind of how he's going to teach as far as being a defensive coordinator. Definitely wants to be able to be a guy who can pressure quarterbacks and play some man-to-man, but he is going through this process, and that's why these mini camps and OTAs are so important for these football players, is that they can understand why they're doing it. And I think that's going to be the one thing that he really excels at when you're talking about coaching.
That's a great question, too, because even from the offensive side of the ball, when I was a young player, I thought I was getting the ball every play. Like, I would line up like the ball's coming to me every play, but I'm just running the plays that's called. Mike McCarthy came to me, he said, "Do you understand the defenses?" I said, "A little bit." He said, "Do you understand the offense?" I said, "A little bit." He said, "Well, you need to understand the offense a lot of bit of why we're doing certain things." He said, "Sometimes we call the plays. Your job's to get Jordy open. But you got to understand the concept of the plays. It ain't just you're getting the ball every play and you're going to run and you're going to score a touchdown. No. Sometimes you look out there, you're like, dang, I ain't getting it. But I got to get EA open."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Understanding your part. It's the sum of the parts, right?
That's huge.
It's everybody is involved. It's not just about you being a star player. I think another big piece of, kind of a question mark going into training camp is these young receivers, taking Jack Bech, and who's going to come on the show, by the way, in his second year. We didn't get to see him a lot. Dante Thornton, it seems like there's going to be a bit of a battle out there. When you're a second-year receiver, what is your different mentality when you come in year two versus being a rookie receiver?
Well, number one, the game slows down tremendously for you in year two. Like when my first year, everybody be talking to me, I ain't hear nothing. My head was spinning, But then as the season went on, you know what I mean, and as it got later in the season, the game started to slow down. And when I came into year two, I'm like, oh, shoot, it's not moving as fast. So now I was kind of able to be the James Jones that they seen at San Jose State, making the plays that I made at San Jose because I wasn't thinking a lot. So I think that's the best thing that these dudes can really figure out this year is I'm not thinking too much. I'm just playing ball. The game slowed down. So I'm looking forward to it. And when it's a battle out there, you gotta be at your best. So you can't take no days off even in practice. So that's the blessing about it as well.
EA, I don't know if you remember the very end of our draft shows as we were going into the second round. We were trying to predict who the Raiders might take. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but I do remember saying, could you see them taking an edge or a safety specifically? And at the time, we're like, what? They have Tyrese. They don't really need. They don't really need to take another lineman. Guess what they did? Guess what they did? And they've got a young safety in Traydon Stukes.
Yes.
When you saw him get selected, what did you think that said about what they're trying to do with the secondary to take somebody that high?
You need more pieces. We're in a league that really focuses on throwing the football. And the more pieces you have, the more versatility you have at those pieces, particularly going back to the middle of the football field. Now we're talking about a guy who can cover, who can come down, be a guy who can protect the edge. Those are kind of things that you want to build your defense around. And hopefully we have that right now.
Yeah. You know what? I heard that we're getting our set crashed by another member of the Silver and Black Productions broadcast team. Let's welcome in the voice of the Raiders, is the color analyst for the radio, covering all the games for you. He was a former Raider. Not when they were in Las Vegas, but Kirk Morrison. He was an Oakland Raider. But what's going on? Kirk Morrison! He's got that WWE flair. Look at y'all auditioning out here for WWE. favorite. We need this. We need more smoke. Kirk, we need more smoke. What happened to the smoke machine? Maybe it was broken, I guess.
What's up, my man?
Good to see you.
How are you, Kirk?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're excited. We were just talking about this. The linebacker core was voted by ESPN one of the most improved entire position groups in the NFL. They were number 2 out of all position groups in the NFL. Your reaction to that and why?
I think because of the guys who you brought in. You brought in a Super Bowl champion, another former first-rounder in Quay Walker. I mentioned Kobe Dean, who's already won a Super Bowl. Tommy Eichenberg, Lindenberg. I mean, this is a group now that I think is well-rounded and guys who have got notches on the belt.
Yeah.
They've got resumes. So I'm excited to see them in this defense of Robbie Leonard being able to cover them up and let those guys make plays. They are downhill linebackers. They are in your face. They're not passive. They don't want to be back here. No. They want to meet you at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JJ.
You all right?
What up?
I was saying, coming out the tunnel, you
Come on,
breathing a little hard.
Hey, I was ready to hit somebody, man. Hold on, relax.
JJ lost 5 pounds and he's ripping on other people.
You
All right,
breathing a little
JJ.
hard. I know. I was excited too, man. I thought.
You get excited
We'd
over
all
here,
be
man. All these
breathing
people
hard.
out here. All right, I'm back.
We'd all be breathing
There we
hard.
go.
You know, I think this is for both EA and Kirk.
Yeah.
Kind of talk about what this defense is going to look like, because it came out in a press conference early on when Rob Leonard was promoted, like that it would be a 3-4. It's not. 3-4 defenses don't just stay in a 3-4 defense like they used to do with the Baltimore Ravens back in the day, right? It's more like a 5-2. You know, they have more linemen. They kind of rotate linemen down, and the outside linebacker will come down. So kind of explain to Raider Nation how you expect this defense to look and why it might wear out offenses early because they have that depth. With the edge rushers.
You want to start? Because,
I'll go all day.
I need me a blackboard, right? I need a chalkboard up here. Amber, you hit on it, though. I think there's multiple elements to this defense. People are going to call it, 3-4-3-4, but there's elements of a 4-3. There's elements of a 5-2. There's going to be guys around the line of scrimmage. And when I say guys around the line of scrimmage, you may have 5 technically defensive linemen or 2 outside linebackers. It may be what they call a 4-3 underfront, which is 4 defensive linemen. All you're doing is put an extra linebacker on the outside. It makes it look like a 5-2. So I don't want to get too analytical into all this, but to me, it's all about showing the offensive line multiple looks and multiple guys who they have to block. When they come out of the huddle, the first thing is they got to find 98, Maxx Crosby.
Bing.
But if he's lined up on the outside as a linebacker and you've got 4 guys to the left of him, well, where are you going to slide the protection? Because if you slide it to Maxx Crosby, well, you've got other guys who can create some one-on-one opportunities, and that's where the Kwity Paye comes in. The Malcolm Kuntz can have a big year, and the guys on the inside, Adam Butler, Hemingway, those are the guys I'm excited about because they're going to get some one-on-one opportunities in this new style of defense and then still have those linebackers that we talked about, the opportunity to get to the gaps and make plays.
Yeah, to add on to that, really, when you're talking about a 34, it's really about that nose tackle.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
We haven't had that guy on our football team in a while who's going to cover up that center and be able to prevent him, the center, from reaching the second level. And then the 2 linebackers.
Yeah.
You're going to have 2 guys in the middle of the football field, and that's basically to stop the run. Because I think in this league, we've kind of gone back to the 90s where teams are focusing on running the football, really making sure they can control the clock. So that's day one. You have to stop the run in this league to be successful and then get into your sub packages. Now, when sub packages come, if we have a team that's going to be in 11 personnel, it's going to be back to a 4 or 5 man front with, 1 linebacker. You have your nickel or whoever. But on first down, you got to stop the run to put them in situations where we can have Maxx ready to roll on 2nd and long, 3rd and long, and that's really what we want to be.
And you talk about that nose tackle position. I mean, is that Adam Butler?
I think it's multiple guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think, I know we're in Vegas, a hockey line change, right? I'm going to my Vegas Knights real quick. But I say hockey line change because you're going to see multiple guys come in waves. You're going to have like the blue line. So you may have a Hemingway and Adam Butler. And then the next wave is maybe a Thomas Booker, right, along with a Laulu, right? So it's going to be a lot of guys who are playing multiple positions. And I think, look, EA, I think we're so used to hearing that you need a big lineman, a big nose tackle on the center.
Right.
I think that they're going to play a lot of shades because I don't know if they have a Siragusa.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if they
don't.
have a big Sam Adams that we're used to seeing.
Don't. Right.
But you've got guys who are great penetrators who can get up the field and cause havoc in the offensive backfield. So I feel like it's going to be multiple guys that just line up on different shades, maybe a shade on the guard rather than a situational shade.
Right.
So that's where I think the Raiders defensive front can really pave their way, is doing that more so than we don't have that big guy we want to, but we got multiple guys that can do
Very
that.
rare the guys are like that.
And that can wear offenses out. And Kirk, I want to hear so much more from you.
Yeah.
We will. We're on for 4 hours. But
Oh, man.
you off the set. somebody a little important is here.
Who's here?
It is the man, the architect of this Las Vegas Raiders roster. It is John Spytek, now in his 2nd year as GM of the Raiders. Welcome in, John Spytek. It looks like the fans are really happy about Fernando Mendoza. They approve of the #1 overall pick. They think you nailed it. Welcome in.
Let's bye.
It's so good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
Great. John, everybody is so excited about this team. And you've sat on this set, a couple months ago, and you talked about it's not just building, as we were looking at the draft, it's not just nailing this draft and building this roster. It's putting the Raiders in a position to also be successful in 27, 28. Now that we are post-draft, you've had a chance to kind of see some of the players that you love. Okay, what do they look like in the Raiders team? What do they look like out on the field? How do you just feel in general about what you were trying to do compared to what you've seen that you've done now?
Yeah, I was pretty outspoken. We had an unbelievable opportunity in front of us with the first overall pick and the amount of cap space that we had available, and so we had to attack it. And we were very mindful of the kind of person we wanted to bring in. I'll keep saying that, but also to your point too, like build it for the future. And so we were very targeted in who we attacked in free agency, younger guys on second contracts, guys that can be a part of what we're trying to build here and then still be here when we reach that goal. In terms of what we've seen so far, I've seen a bunch of guys that have competed and been about the right things and about the process. We've had really great attendance for OTAs this year, so I think we're all really proud of that. Obviously, Klint's done a great job of keeping them engaged and energized at a time of the year where it's not real football, so I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We haven't seen a lineman or anybody block anybody yet. I haven't seen Hayward line up any linebackers in the A gap, so we've got a long way to go with that. But I'm happy with the way they worked, with the way that the new guys have assimilated into what we're trying to build here and added to it, and same thing with the rookies too.
This is year 2, for you. So how does the players from last year and this year's guys who've been in OTAs, how do they all fit together, and how have they been able to kind of mature a little bit?
From my point of view and watching the guys and watching the coaches interact with them, I think because they're all about the right things, they're humble guys, they're about the team, they're about bringing the best to the Raiders and their best to the Raiders. It's been a great process. But again, we won't know until it gets real in training camp and everyone is hot and tired and doesn't like each other as much, and the actual hitting and violence comes to the game that really defines the game. So, but I've been encouraged with the OTA practices, the spirit with which the guys have attacked it, watching our coaches interact with them and teach them, and just the buy-in from everybody's been great so far.
You my type guy, so you ready for the action, the fight. That's right. I feel you.
I got your scouting reports.
Talk to us a little bit about just the different feel around here. What is different from this year to last year? Because every time I walk in the building, everybody's telling me, you got to come watch a practice. Like they invented a new football or something. So I just feel like it's just a different type of energy, the way Coach Kubiak is practicing and all that. How about you? Do you feel the same? Do you feel like a different type of energy? Do you feel the practices are different? What's different?
I don't know that I feel that as much as everybody else. I feel like I'm in my 2nd year, and so I know where I'm supposed to go and where I'm supposed to stand, and what the traffic's going to be like on my way here. Again, we've got a lot of work to do, and I've appreciated the way that the guys have worked this year. I thought they worked really hard last year too, and I love coming to work every day. I think there's the vibe that way too. I mean, Klint's been Clint's been a fantastic partner to myself and to the entire building so far. We're just working on meetings and integrating our college scouts a little bit more into the understanding the depths of everything that we've got going on and how we're trying to build this and the vision that those guys have. And we did some of that before the draft too, but it was like speed dating then. But I feel like, year two, we've got to come together more. I mean, the great teams and organizations, there's a very much of a team culture, and it takes time to establish that. And that's why continuity and consistency is so important in our space. Yep.
I got to go back to the draft a little bit. You don't want to look back at the draft, but you do want to talk about your philosophy going forward when it comes to talent evaluation. And I think any of the great GMs of all time will tell you that you just pick good football players in the draft, regardless of position, and that's how you build a good football team. But when you look at what you did at number 38 and 67, taking a safety and an edge, those were not arguably the positions of need necessarily, like that many people would think were like the number one. I'm saying it.
Okay.
Well, it just seems like those were the best players that, at the time, that was before you got, rid of Tyree. That was, you had safeties on the roster. People were talking about taking, maybe a defensive tackle or taking a wide receiver. Tell me why those guys, obviously, you thought they were the best players available at that position, at that time.
Sure, yeah, we're in the team building aspect for sure, and so you've got to piece it all together. But I've always found that the more really good football players you have, regardless of position, the better your team's going to be, because at some point you're going to need those guys. Everyone's depth in this league gets tested at certain times. You never know when it's going to come. You don't know if it's going to be training camp, week 2, week 17, it comes. I got a chance to spend some time with the great Ron Wolf when I was in Cleveland, and he would come in, because he was tight with Coach Holmgren, so he would come every year, and we got a chance to sit there and ask him questions. And I walked by his picture in the hall every day upstairs too. And he said, he was telling us, just take good football players. Don't force guys up the board. Don't force positions of need, because eventually you're going to need the better football player, and you're going to want the better football player. And if you force a guy, a round or two too early, then they're going to walk in the building and you're going to go, well, we took him too early because we needed him, versus just taking the good football player. And there's certainly a balance, and it's not just talent collection either. We're not just trying to have a bunch of talented guys at one position and then be like, oh, now what do we do at safety, D-line, et cetera. So there's a lot of nuances to it, but obviously we put a process in place. We trusted our draft board, and we were excited to add the 2 guys that we added at those 2 picks, and we just felt like they were the right football player for us at the right time.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, man, this is a situation here where after the draft, you go back to your staff. What are those meetings like after the draft process is over, and what did you find out about the guys that you chose?
Well, we certainly spend a lot of time unpacking the draft. Those are meetings that we have all the time. What do we do? What do we think we did well? What can we do better? Where can we make slight improvements? Because it's such a competitive league that every little thing matters. And there's still a lot to be found out with the guys that we selected this year, the 10 guys that we selected and the 17, 18 that we signed after the draft. But I was happy with our approach, the way we attacked it. We stayed true to our beliefs. We merged well with Klint and his coaching staff and what they really needed and what they valued. And we have that out in front of us. I mean, there'll be things that we'll find out over the next month, training camp and the season, that we will continue to find ways to be self-critical and to make sure that next year's 2027 process and draft is even better than what we just did.
Well, John, congratulations on a good draft, getting Fernando Mendoza, being able to go into your second year, knowing where the cafeteria and the bathroom are. I mean, that's a great step.
You can ask me now, and I can
get you.
I'm
going to do it during the break.
So it don't just slow down for us; it slow down for you. Second year,
yeah, the facility slowed down for him. The game slowed down for you.
When you guys find in your second year, everything slowed down a little bit as a player too?
Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Second year was the funnest for me.
Same in this job.
Yeah.
But the most expected growth.
You have when you're desperate, we have a receiver that can go in for 2 or 3 plays.
But why you got to say desperate?
He's got one good one. He's got one good one.
You got to say desperate. See, I'm trying to thin out a little bit. Why you got to say desperate, man?
Yeah, I'll take that jacket and we'll put you in again.
That's right. Hey, John, thanks so much for stopping by. I know Raider Nation is so excited about the way the roster looks right now. We can't wait to see what they look like in training camp.
Awesome.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Always great to be with you, all 3 of you.
All right, we're going to take a break. here at Raiders Media Day 2026. Look who's waiting in the wings. Do y'all want to talk to that guy? I think Raider Nation wants to hear from that guy. It's Fernando Mendoza. Coming up next, you're watching Raiders Media Day live.
To have this experience, to see what we see at home and respect the athletes in the NFL, to see how they prepare for their matches, it's amazing.
We feel very fortunate to be able to bring what we think is one of the greatest games in the world for everyone else to see, and I guess the more times that Americans can see it, hopefully they can get around it and we can grow our sport globally.
It's awesome. I think one thing that I always notice when I meet professional athletes from different sports is that it's so easy to vibe with them. At the end of the day, we're doing different things. A lot of the time we're from entirely different parts of the world, but we have a common through point, which is sports. We can kind of talk and talk shop, talk ball, whatever, and we're so curious about what they have going on. They're so curious about us, about how we train, how we play, the mentality, all the rest of it. It's just cool to be able to kind of exchange that kind of thought with people that are doing what they're doing at the highest level in their sport.
To have a global brand like this, to have with our game and with our clubs as well, it's you see how when the players come through here, when the clubs come through here, what it means to them just to step inside this place. So yeah, it's taking our game to a whole nother level, and we're all here for it.
It's so good to have diversity of sports, of countries, of all these different things, and for Allegiant to be able to kind of host that, I think is huge. To bring that sport to a larger stage, and also to have a crossover with the American populace and all the rest of it, the people who want to watch these things. That's huge. At the end of the day, sports are meant to be enjoyed by everybody, every creed, color, nation, all the rest, and whatever we can do to kind of bring that to a larger audience is a great thing.
Wearing the silver and black is a privilege meant for a few, sought out by many.
The best team in the world, simple as that.
You win here, it's special.
But what is it about the Raiders exactly? Is it the shield, a symbol of greatness, influence, unchanging, forever instilling a commitment to excellence?
The Raiders introduced Klint Kubiak as their new head coach this morning.
The colors, the silver and black.
This is no ordinary job. This is the silver and black.
Timeless in every way.
Shoot, what's up, Mr. Brady? How you doing?
Whatever it may be, like us or not, we don't care. Allow us to remind you, there's 31 other teams. Then there's us.
This is basically the greatest offseason for a single team in NFL history.
It's a new dawn.
It's such an iconic logo.
New challenges, same goal.
There's a lot of hope this is the catalyst.
The pursuit of greatness continues.
And welcome to the dark side.
Welcome back to Raiders Media Day 2026. You're looking live inside the Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center. I'm Amber Theoharis, along with James Jones and Eric Allen. So much fun to be hanging out with you guys over the next 4 hours, taking you up to 1 o'clock Pacific. We just had John Spytek on the set. We're going to have Klint Kubiak coming up soon. Will be Fernando Mendoza, Maxx Crosby, Brock Bowers. All the stars are coming through here. And there's so much excitement around this #1 overall pick.
Yes.
And the hardest part probably for Fernando is coming in and letting that hype die down for a minute, right? And just saying, you know what? I'm a rookie.
Yeah.
And when you're a high draft pick, is that a difficult thing? You imagine to, you're kind of expected to be the man, but then you're like, wait a minute, I still have a lot to learn.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I mean, as a rookie, you come in, the game goes so fast. You're in the meeting rooms trying to learn new things. So the most important thing, though, is make sure you're getting your mental reps in when you're not in. That's the most important thing for a young cornerback.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Second round?
Yeah.
Second round. Third round.
Zero round.
First round. They wasn't worried about us. EA could develop. He got time. It sucks.
Yeah.
But the numero uno first round pick, my dog got some pressure on him.
Yeah, everybody's paying attention. He ain't worried about the pressure because he is here right now, welcoming in our next guest. He is the #1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, Heisman Trophy winner, national champion. Let's bring in Fernando Mendoza. He's got that WWE kind of name, doesn't he?
Big boy.
That's a tall man.
I gotta see his intro now, though.
Coming in at 6'5".
There you go.
Maybe
What's
one
up,
day
my
he'll
man?
make it to the WWE.
Good seeing you.
Good in them colors now, man.
Woo!
On again.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the
Are you a
first time.
WWE fan? Or no?
I'm more of a UFC guy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wow. Oh yeah, you
like the real stuff there.
Yeah,
I think that you might be able to get some good seats here in Vegas. I just have a hunch that we can get you some good seats.
Fingers crossed.
It's great to see you in the silver and black. This is awesome.
Thank you.
This is the first time I've seen you in silver and black.
Yeah, it's surreal, and to be able to be here in the silver and black and have the actual uniform on, it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity that I look forward to taking the most advantage of it.
Do you feel a little tougher, like a little darker, just a little on the dark side? Because you seem like a pretty good guy, but like a little edgier now.
Yeah, but now we're on the dark side. Coach Kubiak's doing a great job educating us on team history. And I get a lot of team history. It's like, okay, this is what I'm a part of.
There you go.
What a special organization.
That's what people don't understand.
And
right?
so be a part of the dark side. It's great,
Yeah. That's what people don't understand. Like when you get here, it's not just the books and the plays. It's like the history.
Yeah.
You got to know who played quarterback before you, who's the receiver, all that stuff. So talk to me now. Who's your guy that you didn't know when you got here as far as alumni who you're like, wow, I didn't know that guy had this kind of impact with the silver and black?
Oof. I mean, there's so many.
You're right.
I mean, there's so many, but and especially that I've researched.
Yeah.
I mean, especially at the quarterback position, but some. I mean, I always knew Jerry Rice played for the Raiders, but I didn't realize the impact he actually had.
Right. Yeah.
With the Raiders.
Yes.
And, and to see that and to see so many other greats come through the building is special.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I was laughing because when I came from the Packers and I put that Raiders uniform on, I said, I'm going to kill everybody. I just felt different in the silver and black. I just felt different. So it's funny she said that. Do you feel different? I felt different. Like, man, it's on. Any team by myself, right? All right, now, hey, you got a couple practices under your belt. Last time we talked to you, we was up there, in suits and ties and dresses and all that type of stuff. Now no white stripes on the football.
Yeah, exactly.
NFL ball. And you got some reps in. How you feel, man?
Feel good, learning and growing every single day. Adjustment to the NFL, it's definitely an adjustment. There's been a lot of great moments, and there's been a lot of growing pains. So I think being a part of that and be able to practice with those guys, such a high-intensity practice, whether you're with the 1s, the 2s, or the 3s, everyone's always going full throttle. Coach Kubiak has set a great culture, and be able to learn from those veteran guys has been essential in my development so far. However, I've been growing, I've been learning, I've been really happy with the progress I've made.
There it is.
Forget about football. I know that you went over to Maxx Crosby's house, right? To watch Game 7. And I heard you played a game of horse.
Uh-oh.
Now, did you get knocked out by Maxx?
Well, yeah, I definitely I got horsed out. I got horsed out by Maxx. Maxx is, he's an incredible athlete. He is like top tier. And although I like to think of myself as an incredible athlete, he's a lot better at basketball than I am. But the competitor inside me didn't want to let that go. And so the competitor inside me saying he did have a little bit of home court advantage. Literally, literally at his home. No, but he's a fantastic basketball player. And it was tough to get knocked out by Maxx, but had to get a rematch soon.
You had to play basketball at some point, being 6'5", right?
Yeah, I did.
In your childhood?
Yeah, my high school they were like one of the top ranked basketball high schools because they have the Boozer brothers.
Oh.
And so you actually weren't allowed to play football and basketball.
Oh,
the seasons kind of overlapped.
Right.
But I love basketball. It's good to watch. Good to watch.
So now all you got to do, though, is very simple. Get a coach, which is me, because I know I'm flicking the wrist and my jump shot is like that.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Number
Don't
two,
do it.
when you build your mansion, put your court in there. And get your home court.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, first I'm focused on football. So football's first.
There it is.
That's
there
right.
It is.
Talk to us a little bit about what it's like being in the meeting rooms with Kirk. What has he helped you with? What have you helped him with? Those kind of things.
No, he's definitely helping me a lot. He's extremely cerebral, and he's been in this offense before, so he's already have a little bit of an upper hand in a sense where he's been able to teach the other quarterbacks and have experience with the plays, not just in practice, not just in scrimmages, but in actual games. He sees how these plays have played out. He's had experience with Coach Kubiak, which has been so interesting to see, and I've been able to learn firsthand and secondhand, whether it's my own experiences, whether it's asking Kirk questions, or just observing the room.
Right.
Yep. Is there any similarities to Klint's offense compared to the offense you came from in Indiana?
Well, I think every offense has similar, because football is football at the end of the day. Like, it can't be that much different to have an effective offense. But the schematics of it's different. There's a lot more under center variables that I've been learning, getting a lot of extra reps in, and I feel a lot more comfortable under center. But it's a great offense. I really believe in Coach Kubiak's offense.
Tom Brady, he showed up at OTAs, and if there was one thing, I'm sure he said a lot of things to you and given you a lot of advice, but if there was one thing that you would pass on to a younger quarterback, what would it be that Tom has said to you?
Yeah. No, I usually like to keep the conversation between Tom and I private, but I do think
a philosophy.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Approach.
I think that what he said is, as a quarterback, you need to be the most everything. You need to be the most competitive. You need to be the most leader. You need to have the most leadership. You need to be the toughest, mentally and physically. And you got to embody all these things and lead by example before gaining that equity and respect by your teammates in order to lead effectively. And so that really resonated with me and the other quarterbacks.
Yeah. Take me through the clip that I always see about, you're in the pocket, you're trying to, figure out kind of what's going on. You take off and run. You dive in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great play. Take me through that. How did you process that play, and what eventually led you to take that chance to dive in the end zone?
Well, going back from the week of preparation, it all starts with preparation. So you can feel free, prepared, and confident whenever you get any play call. So always try to walk through all the plays, have a plan in action, have, what's the intent of the play, what are the different scenarios, and what's the problem of this play.
Right.
And with that specific play, it was a little bit of a mixed read. The defense was jumbled up. They didn't think we would actually go for it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I knew that the default of the play was to run. And so with a little bit of a cloudy look, I decided to run, trust my offensive lineman, went up the hole, thought I was actually went the wrong way. So it's like when you take a wrong turn on Google Maps, and then I got pinballed in, and I just got, my body just naturally dove, and it was crazy.
That's awesome.
Fernando, I know we only have a little bit of time with you. We do have a game that we want to play. I know you're getting to know your teammates, but we want to see if you can recognize them in their boyhood. Okay.
Awesome.
So which
That's
teammate
easy.
is
That's
this?
Ashton Jeanty.
That is correct. That is Ashton Jeanty. There you go. Look at him. It's short hair. Okay, let's see another one.
Tyler.
These are easy.
Yeah.
He looks. He was a man.
He has a great head of hair there.
Yeah, I know.
That is awesome.
Yeah, what was he, 10 there? He was like 6
Look
foot
identical.
20. Yeah, okay, let's do another one.
Oh,
Who's
my
this?
goodness.
Trey
That's easy.
Tucker.
Trey Tucker. Very
Still
good.
wearing number 1.
That's a nice photo right there. That's like a good little
Where my dog
personality
Trey
shot.
at, man? He looked bigger there.
I can't even see that far.
You can't really see that far, to be honest.
That's Maxx.
Really?
No, that is not.
That
Maxx
is Maxx. I'm going to say that.
What?
Look at the red hair. He has red hair.
Maxx.
Come
Wow.
on,
come on.
It's a little tough
I
because
mean-
his face down. eyes, you know.
Y'all
That's cheating
y'all
right
questioning
there.
me now. That's
That one.
easy
That's,
too.
that's Eric.
Yep.
Sure.
Eric Stokes. There we
Yeah.
go. All right.
Oh, well, you can definitely tell from, yeah.
We could go
That's
forever.
awesome.
So you already know your team,
Yeah,
man.
good job,
Learning.
man.
Fernando, I know it has been a lot for you. I know it's been a lot with the draft season and coming to a new team, but you've handled it beautifully.
Sure.
And you know what? I love how intentional intentional you were with the Tom Brady answer. It just shows you how cerebral and you really are intentional with what you do. And I think Raider Nation has to love that as a leader. So thanks for being here with us.
Thank you guys. Thank you for showing up, Raider Nation.
Can't wait to see you at training camp. We'll see you.
All right, my man.
He looks good in the silver. He looks good in the silver and black. Good to see you, Fernando. All right, so man, that's cool to see him. He took on a different persona, didn't he?
Yes.
He took on a different, with the silver and black on him.
You do.
Yeah.
And it's
he seems like such a
difficult-
good guy, but we like him a
difficult
little
to.
not good.
Right.
Yeah.
You need a little dirt on you a little bit, you know.
You put that uniform on, you know, it's time to go.
Really happy for him.
I am
grimy
too.
time
and
now.
You notice is that is a tall man. You know, you have to be tall to play in the NFL now. You know, the kind of Drew Brees days are over, and I know Kyler Murray's still in the league. And players like that.
Some of them can make it happen.
But
That's just one thing a coach doesn't have to set his game plan.
Yeah.
You know, he can just worry about, hey, you know what? You can drop back in the pocket. You can find 2 or 3. We don't have to worry about you rolling out to the left or rolling out to the right to condense the field.
All right, I'm here, and we have another one of our. They've become wrestling stars. All of them went from there's wrestling stars with these entrances. But we welcome into Raiders Media Day 2026. Say hello, Raider Nation, to Kwity Paye. There he is, number 95. Good to see him in the silver and black for the first time.
New faces now.
That boy looks tough.
A lot
Look
of
at
new
that.
faces. Boy, look mean.
Welcome in, Kwity Paye.
What's up, my man?
What's up, my man?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm living life, man. Can't complain.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is the first time we get to see these new players in the silver and black, and you just look tough.
Oh, man, I love it.
Is that a uniform you ever pictured yourself and be like, hey, man, that's kind of a tough uniform.
I never thought about it, but I'm so happy I'm in it now.
Yeah.
For sure.
It kind of brings a different swag with it, and it has such a history behind it. But just coming over to the Raiders, what was your first thoughts when you had a chance to meet Klint Kubiak and John Spytek, and now that you've had a chance to be on the field with guys like Maxx Crosby and some of your newer teammates like Quay Walker?
You know, the team had a really great free agency, honestly, you know, just on the defensive side of the ball, going and getting some ball players. And I'm excited to be a part of this defense. And, you know, when we all came together, once we signed with Spytek and all the new free agents, it was great to hear the vision and what he had planned to sit with Klint and, you know, just hear ball with them and then practicing with the guys, seeing how Klint operates. And, man, it's just been great.
Yeah. You know, being in this position with the Raiders, you would think, you know, a team with the #1 pick usually has a roster that's like, man, we got to replace all these guys. I thought free agency, man, he knocked it out the park, man, with you guys. Yeah. Did you have a feeling that this was going to be kind of the end result of the free agency when they first started talking to you?
Yeah, you know, after when they picked me up, man, I just kept up with like all the new updates and stuff like that. I'm just seeing we just got getting guys.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. So I'm just like, man, like it's going to be a great football team.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the defense because, you know, I've been over here bragging. I'm really high on the defense. I think the defense is going to be an elite defense. I mean, you bring yourself in, you bring the Kobe Dean in, you bring my dog Quay Walker in. Sure. You got a new defensive coordinator. Just talk to us a little bit about the defense. How this defense going to look? You know, what your guys' expectations is going into the season?
Yeah, you know, it all starts with Rob, you know, as a DC, you know, just him implanting, you know, just our physicality on that side of the ball and, you know, just playing fast, playing physical. You know, you heard about Quay being an alien out there, just seeing it firsthand, just him out there balling. Nakobe's going to be out there playing great ball for us. And, you know, we got some great pieces. We just got to go out there and execute.
I love the descriptions. Brock Bowers is a robot. We've got Quay Walker as an alien. I'm loving what's coming out of this. It's like a sci-fi journey. Tell me about your journey, though. Raider Nation is just getting to know you, and they don't know that you were born in a refugee camp in Guinea. I mean, from humble beginnings up to the Raiders. How did that shape, you know, your beginnings shape your mentality as a football player?
Yeah, you know, it's just everything that I am as a person. You know, started from very humble beginnings and, you know, just through hard work and perseverance, man, I was able to be where I am today. And, you know, that's just who I am as a person every single day. I'm grateful to be where I'm at, and I can't waste my opportunities. So, you know, I'm in here grinding every single day. You know, I've tried to beat Max in a couple times, but I think he sleeps in the
building. Yeah, exactly. He has a room over there.
Yeah, I think he just sleeps in the building. But, yeah, you know, just seeing how guys in the facility work as well, you know, I just want to match the energy.
Yeah. What's your superpower? I mean, we all have, whether it's photographic memory, being able just to kind of play all day long. What's your superpower?
I just think, man, like I never get too low, you know, regardless of a bad play. You know, I'm just ready to get back out there and, you know, just improve and just, you know, just next play mentality.
Yeah.
You're on the defensive side of the ball. I know there's not pads on and all that type stuff right now, so you can't really, you know, really get after it. But first impressions of the young quarterback, man, Mendoza, what's your first impressions of him?
I think he's been playing well, you know, just taking the coaching and you know, just small things that you notice about him, like after he throws the pass, like he's immediately like practicing like his next throw. You know, every time he throws a pass and every time he hands the ball off, he practices the handoff like immediately. So, you know, just seeing him doing that constantly and, you know, just picking up from Kirk, it's been amazing.
I know you're just getting to know your teammates, but as a veteran, you can identify players on a roster or players on your unit that you're like, I didn't really know a lot about them, but I see you. Like, okay, I see you, and I can't wait to see what you do out there. Is there somebody like that on the defense that maybe doesn't get the media and the press, but you are excited to see what they do this year?
Yeah, you know, a lot of young guys on the D-line. You know, Tonka, excited to see what he does. You know, he's in here at 5 in the morning every single day doing extra cardio with Maxx and stuff like that. You know, a bunch of guys, Jonah Laulu, he's a baller. You know, Kuntz, I feel like he's very underrated. I feel like a lot of guys didn't really talk about him, but he's an extremely great pass rusher. Just getting to see him pass rush during OTAs. Yeah, man, it's a lot of JJ. It's a lot of young guys on our D-line, man. I'm excited to see how they play this season.
If you weren't here playing football, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing if I wasn't playing football? You know, it's crazy. So growing up, me and my older brother, we used to watch Criminal Minds like every day.
That's the best show.
I would definitely be an FBI agent.
I'd be an FBI agent. Scared of you. You imagine him coming to arrest you? Him with a SWAT team behind him? That scares me.
Yeah, they just gonna put their hands up. Man.
Rob Leonard, whenever you talk to him, you know, I've had the chance to talk to him kind of offline. And I remember him saying before free agency, before the draft, it was kind of at the end of last season, and he had just been promoted to defensive coordinator, and he said, you know, I need like everything with him starts with the defensive line because he's a defensive line coach. Exactly. And he said, my mentality is I just need dogs. That's all I want. And he was looking, and he was like, all right, I got Maxx. I'm going to need a bunch of other dogs. Yeah. When you look at the mentality kind of the line in particular or the front seven, how would you characterize it from what you've seen at OTAs and minicamps?
I think, you know, it all starts up front. You know, being in the trenches, you got to be a little different. You got to be a little crazy, you know.
Little off. It's okay to say off.
So I feel like, yeah, I mean, it all starts up front. So, I mean, we got to set the tone every single day, you know, for the defense, D-line sets the tone, and then for the offense, you know, running the ball down the team's throat, you know, that's just football.
Speaking of Maxx, you say you try to beat him in the building a couple times. You know, as player, especially when you got a great player on your team, you kind of try to steal stuff from him. You kind of try to learn from him. You know I did. Is there anything that you like, man, I got to add that to my game, or, you know what I mean, try to steal from Maxx, or anything you learned from Maxx so far?
You know, so he hasn't been practicing with us yet, but, you know, he's constantly in the building. He's first one in, last one to leave, watching extra film, extra cardio, extra core, you know, just anything that he can do to, like, put himself over the edge. I think that's, like, his biggest thing. Like, what can I do to put myself over the edge? Something that somebody else isn't doing that I can do.
We've been talking a lot about basketball. Do you hoop too?
I'm not a hooper. I wish I was a hooper.
Was there any other sport?
I ran track in high school.
What'd you run?
I ran the 100. I long jumped. I was a really good long jumper. And then
big boy runner.
I was gonna say that's a big boy for the 100 and the 4x100.
Yeah, no, I was a little leaner. I was like 230.
That's still.
That's not lean.
That's still a big dude running the 100.
That ain't lean.
That just shows the athleticism.
JJ, that's not lean.
We're going to make JJ feel good. Hey, you know, Kwity, I know Raider Nation's super excited to have you, that dog mentality out there with the front seven. We can't wait to see you at training camp, and thanks for stopping by the set.
Sure, appreciate you guys.
Welcome to the dark side, brother. Welcome to the dark side.
You're welcome. You could go ahead and go. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, all right, bro.
Welcome
was
to the
sitting
dark
here
side,
waiting.
brother.
Thanks, Kwity. All right, we appreciate it. Kwity Paye, I have a feeling we're going to see 95 a lot.
Where'd he grow up?
He was born in a refugee camp in Guinea, and then came to the United States, Rhode Island, at a really young age.
Amazing.
So it just shows you, when you have talent and athleticism and heart, and the right people around you, what can happen in the NFL, and that's a great story. JJ, I know you come from humble beginnings too. I'm sure you can relate to that kind of thing.
Yeah, and for him, being built the right way helps. 230 running a 100. That's
I think I want that guy on my team.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I mean, whenever you see people overcome stuff to get to the National Football League and be a really good player too, I root for those guys. So I'm rooting for him. Hopefully he gets after the passer. And we got another dude on the other side of Maxx to get active at.
Yeah, for sure, man. Really appreciate him stopping by. And you think this defense now up front, I mean, the front seven, man, just looks really, really positive. You think you can go into a football game and do the things that you want to do. You can kind of dictate the tempo of the football game. I know, Rob wants to play some man-to-man, and when you're a corner, a DB, you love to have those guys up front who are getting after the quarterback, so their clock for that quarterback is going faster, and that's what you need to be able to eventually get your hands on the football.
Absolutely.
It really does feel like fate, because you have to remember that when Kwity Paye and Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean were brought in, they believed Maxx was not going to be on the roster. Then they get notice that the alpha is coming back. I mean, what a defensive front. Completely different than where we were at the end of last year. So hats off to John Spytek for what he did to build this roster. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, much more to come. We're going to have Klint Kubiak. We're going to have Maxx Crosby. There's Brock Bowers. Looking forward to a healthy Brock in his third year. He broke every record in the world his rookie season. That's all coming up right here at Raiders Media Day.
The Raiders, Intermountain Health, and the Raiders Foundation welcome you to the third annual Silver and Black Gala.
Without the community, without our fans, football isn't fun.
This organization understands something very powerful, that health and strength aren't built only on the field, but in how we show up for one another every day.
Barrett Robbins faced an opponent far more daunting than those who donned helmets and shoulder pads. He will forever be remembered as a proud member of the Raiders.
Tonight, we will be introducing you to 6 more local organizations. Together, these groups serve individuals across a wide spectrum of needs.
It breathes life into the community. It breathes life into the clients that we serve. It's a sign of hope.
Receiving $250,000 is amazing, but receiving it from our partners at the Raiders makes it even more special because they know us, they know our mission, they know our work.
I would like to recognize our gala's presenting sponsor, Intermountain Health. Our partnership is built on a mutual respect and a shared commitment to the health and growth of this region.
I've been saying all evening that these raffle items are legendary and iconic.
This year's Commitment to Excellence Award winner is Jay Glazer.
The legend himself, Carl Nassib.
There's one thing I've learned about being an advocate for mental health. It's not about being perfect. It's not about saying the right things all the time. It's just about showing up and reminding people that they really aren't alone.
Because of things like tonight, it makes people like me feel safe to open up, which we didn't really have.
Please have your paddles ready as we begin tonight's live auction.
She's thinking about it. I know she's wanting to. She's already committed. Gotcha there! $100,000! All the money's going right back here to our local community.
Please welcome Sir Elton John.
Raider Nation, I appreciate your time checking in on us here, and we're breaking down our newest DB in the 2026 draft, Trayden Stutes. I like the way this guy plays. He's kind of like a joker, middle of the field football player. Does an amazing job of being all over the field. Here, he's covering the slot guy. And again, we have to have a versatility to be able to be a great DB in the National Football League. This tells me a couple things here. This tells me that he understands route combinations, comfortable enough to know that he can undercut that deep out route and come up with the big time play. That's what it's about. It's about getting your hands on the ball. Amazing job there of getting the INT on a deep out, playing man-to-man coverage on that slot guy. Now we're going to see if he can play some zone. And of course, he's on the stretch. He's on the outside edge playing cover 2, so that means he has deep half. You have to kind of sort through this stacked bunch here, and the corner's going to take that outside route. That safety, you need to expand, and you have to make that play at great range for this young man. Yeah, I know, yes, you made the big-time play. That shows you the zone type of concept that he can run, being in cover 2, getting off that hash, and have that great boundary playmaking ability to be able to get his hands on the ball. Love that fact about it. So we're showing you how versatile this young man is. And another step to know that this guy's a preparation guy, study guy. This is a 3-by-1 concept. 3 receivers up top, 1 receiver down low. So that maybe gives him a clue of this going to be a quick screen. That shows you he's in the film room trying to make big time plays. He has to take that one to the house though. That's going to happen against the Chargers next year. He's going to take that one to the house. Remember, I said it here first. This shows you his versatility and how he's able to dominate football games from an athletic standpoint and a mental standpoint. Now our next clip here. We're talking about a guy who's all over the football field. Let's run this tape and just see again how explosive he can be. We have to be stout on the running game. Again, the one critique I have is in the National Football League, man, you're gonna have to go a little low. We're gonna wrap those legs because the guys up here, they want you to try and go up high. But again, showing you that he makes plays in the backfield. You all know I'm an ASU guy. Sun Devils all the way. This is an amazing play by our new safety. Come off the play action. You got to read it. Look at the ball skills of this guy. He went up top and got it. I mean, yes, it's against my Sun Devils, but that was an amazing play. Just shows you his ball skills. And when the Raiders defensively are great, guys, we all know we have tremendous output in getting interceptions. We're looking for 20 plus this year, and to have a guy in the middle of the football field who can consistently do that is going to raise the level of our defense. That's it this time on Raiders Breakdown.
Welcome back to Raiders Media Day 2020 here inside Raiders headquarters. Amber Theoharis, James Jones, Eric Allen. We have had all the stars starting to come through. We already had Fernando Mendoza. It was good to see him. Kwity Paye, John Spytek, but much more to come as Maxx Crosby is expected, along with Brock Bowers, Ashton Jeanty. But you know what? One of the sneakiest, best moves in the NFL this offseason was the Raiders acquiring Tyler Linderbaum.
Yes.
A center. If you look at what Klint Kubiak did as offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, the center had a lot to do with that, and that's why they brought in one of the best in the NFL, and he's here with us now. Let's welcome in the Raiders' newest offensive lineman, Tyler Linderbaum, number 65. Got to get it right. There he is in the silver and black.
Look at him. He just looked ready.
He is ready, man.
He looked ready.
What's going on, Tyler?
How we doing?
Welcome in.
What's up, man? My boy look like the mannequin. What up, big dog?
Welcome. It's nice to actually meet you. I feel like we've been talking about you, and it's finally a chance to sit down with you. And you know what? As some of my good offensive lineman friends say, the big uglies get no love. I never thought y'all were ugly. I just thought you were big and good looking, and you deserve love too. But
I appreciate that.
Thank you. I just want to put that out there. In this offense, though, how important is your position? Kind of break that down from a football standpoint as to what you're trying to do in this offense.
Yeah, I think, as an offensive lineman, obviously the more unnoticed we go, the better it is. It's just our job is to, be able to run the football, protect the quarterback, have elite communication. And then as a center, it starts with me getting guys with in the right spots and, playing the game with the right mentality. And that's just what we try to do each and every day.
Yeah. I tell you, with the communication, is it overblown that we talk so much about the center having this great communication on game day with the guards and quarterback? Is it something that happens preseason, happens pre-game? Where does the communication come from, and how do you have to process that during the games?
Yeah, I mean, it started April 7th, the first day we got here.
All right.
And you build the relationships over time. Obviously, a lot of new faces, new coaching staff, new teammates. So you got to build the relationships to when it's, the third, fourth quarter and games on the line, third down situation, we see the game in the same eyes.
Okay.
So, and it starts now. It starts with our preparation. And if we want to be a team that we want to be, an elite team, it starts now. It starts in practice. And, we're just working each and every day to get to our goals.
All right.
I could tell your mindset already is the right mindset because, Amber and EA was talking to, and you said, run the ball, then protect the quarterback. So I know what we're trying to do. But do you feel any added pressure? Because you just came from Lamar Action Jackson, MVP. Do you feel there's any added pressure now that you got the #1 overall pick behind you? Because you just came from a special one, and now you're going to be with another really good player, another special quarterback. Do you feel any added pressure that you're the center and he's the number 1 overall pick? Because eventually he's going to go in. We just don't know when. Do you feel any added pressure?
Absolutely not. No.
There you go.
It's this is what we signed up for. As an offensive lineman, I think we have the best position there is. And then obviously whoever's back there at quarterback, it's our job to protect them. It's our job to be able to run the football for the running backs. So that's what makes the position so fun and so good is it's 5 guys working together.
Yeah.
To try to get accolades for other guys.
Yeah.
And that's our mindset. We want those guys to have a successful season, and it starts up front with us being successful and setting the tone.
Love it.
What is the process like of an offensive line becoming one unit? You're new. Colton Miller didn't play much last year because of injuries. Jackson, JPJ kind of had to move back and forth. Sometimes he was at center, sometimes he was at guard. So there is a process of gelling that needs to happen at training camp. You've probably witnessed that before it takes shape. What usually is the development and the process and the timeline of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the more reps that we can get with each other, the better off we're going to be. And, you never know. Obviously injuries happen throughout the year, so the more guys that you can get reps with, the better off you're going to be. And I think it's once we get the pads on, okay, how we feel in blocks, how we fit in blocks together, how are we communicating up front, and trying to see the game in the same lens is critical to the offensive line position.
Yeah, you're one of the best in the game, and you have to have great experience, play on great teams. But talk to us a little bit about your style of play. What kind of zone, man blocking? What kind of things do you like to do?
Yeah, I think each and every snap, it's our job to play the game as hard as possible. It's an imperfect game. Things aren't going to go the way you want it to be. So how you finish in every block, how you finish in every play, and then when things go bad, how are you responding to that? And I think that's what makes the elite players. It's the ability to overcome adversity, overcome adverse situations, and that's just what I try to do each and every play, each and every snap.
Yeah. As a wide receiver, we want to throw the ball every play. We don't get upset when a run play's called because we know we got to run the ball too. But as an offensive lineman, do you prefer running the ball or do you prefer passing the ball? I've never asked an offensive lineman that. Like when the play come in the huddle, you like, man, let's pass it, or you like, man, let's run it?
Yeah. The right answer is whatever's play is called. Obviously you want to set the tone early with running the football, but if it's a game where you have to be drop back pass, you got to be able to block for 50 times a game. So whatever on that day is the situation that's given, it's our job to be ready for whatever's come.
We've been playing a little game here to recognize
we got
your
another
teammates
one.
growing up, but I want to show the picture of you. Obviously, this is you. So can we pull up the picture of Tyler? Because I have a question about it.
Oh, look at
no,
it. That ain't him.
Oh, that's JPJ. I knew that's JPJ.
That boy got banged.
There you go.
Okay, that picture. How old are you there?
Oh, gosh.
That's high school?
Look at the.
Yeah, that's high school.
That's high school.
Oh, that's good. All right.
Like
I was probably a junior, senior.
You're like 6.
all
okay,
right.
you look like you're 30.
He ready to go.
So you've always
Should I bring the hair back? I don't know.
Yeah, you should. I think so. I think so.
That was the bowl cut, right? Like kind of the shaggy.
Yeah, I told. So when I went to the hairstylist, I put a bowl over my head.
Okay, that's how you get that done.
So
Okay.
that was.
Hey, I like that.
We like,
you know
we
what?
like the fade right now.
To wear that at 65 in high school and be able to wear that here.
Yeah.
That's
means-
pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's special.
It's pretty cool.
Well, that's
That means
earned.
You're the man.
Yeah.
That's earned. Thanks, Tyler, for being here with us. Everybody's so excited to have you and a solid offensive line this year
Thank
in
you.
front of whoever's playing quarterback. So thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for having me, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
man.
You're allowed to go take your beauty shots. You know, offensive linemen
big
do
old
like
dude,
love
man.
too.
Yeah.
You know, they like to be called handsome too.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So sometimes you got to pump them up a little bit.
Sometimes you go by their meeting rooms and everyone else, you got the film projector going. Never any film. They're always talking. They're always just in there talking and eating. That's all they're
Number
doing.
one, they're the best group to be around.
Yeah, they are.
That's why
They're
I
pretty
used to
fun.
I used to say, forget the wide receivers. I used to go sit by the linemen. Man, what are we talking about? They're the best group to be around. But to be honest with you, it ain't none of us without them.
No.
Whether it's that D-line or that O-line, you need them big
Yeah.
boys. So, you know, we appreciate them for sure.
Yes.
I think that's the number one thing everybody will be looking for in training camp. How is the offensive line coming along? And different from years past.
Yeah.
You need to have the 5 guys set, in my opinion,
Early.
going into week 1. Yeah, like you have. There can't be moving around. Let's test this guy out
No.
because that unit has to gel quickly.
Right.
Especially, you know, we don't know when Fernando Mendoza is going to go
I
in.
think that's going to be the key. The
How are they
sooner
playing?
the offensive
Right.
line is intact and ready to go, that's when we'll see the young guy.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Yep.
We're going in there game week 1. I don't know what y'all saying.
I've been saying it too, but we don't have that information. But I've been saying that too.
Yes, Amber been on that.
I've been on that for a while. All right, hey, how about we talk a little defense?
Okay,
back to
yes.
defense. I know you like
Right.
the defensive backs. Let's welcome in Jeremy Chinn, safety for the
Yeah.
Las Vegas Raiders, number 11, coming out.
Versatility.
They moved him around last year. There he is.
Yeah.
He is a good player and going to be asked to do a lot this year, being a veteran. They're in the secondary in his second year with the Raiders, his 7th NFL season. What's
There you
going
go.
on,
What's
Jen?
up? What's up?
There you go.
You? How are you?
You look the right way. There you go. What
That's
up,
right.
What's up, my man? All right, good to see you again.
Man, all right, here you are, year 2. This is your second media day, so you know you've already. This isn't your first time in silver and black. We saw what you did last year. How does it feel a little different out there now that a lot of different talent on the roster? The guys in front of you, especially, look a lot different. You've got a lot of young guys on that in that secondary. Just kind of summarize what you've seen so far and the little bit that you've seen out at mini camps.
Yeah, it's been great. Well, first, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Man.
Not for sure. But yeah, like you said, just the talent acquisition that we've had this offseason and being able to see it kind of play out in front of me, I feel like it's kind of cleared up everything on my end and the back end. And then also just adding all the young guys as well. It's been great just having that depth and having guys who can play so many different spots.
Yeah. The versatility with you, man, was just amazing last year. Playing the nickel, safety, you're all over the football field, and that's something that I think will keep you on the football field, obviously, but really helps you help the younger guys, right? So talks about some of the conversations you've been having with some of the younger players.
Yeah, I mean, so it's been cool. Like in my position, I feel like I've almost sat in everybody's seat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whether it be playing a nickel spot, playing, you know, safety, deep safety, playing box safety, being a new guy on the team, you know, I've been in everybody's shoes in a sense. So, you know, just playing my role, I feel like now, like the leadership role that I have, it really just embracing it and being able to just share my knowledge and share, you know, certain experience that I've had, you know, with the younger guys.
Awesome.
Man, I'm really high on the defense. I am, man. I just think the free agents that we brought in, you know, especially with Quay and Nakobe Dean, you know, in the middle of the defense, I'm really high on the defense. Just talk to me about what's stopping this defense from being the top 5 defense in the National Football League? Because I feel like you guys have the talent across the board to be a really good defense.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's stopping us would be us. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we just had to come in and work every single day and create the standard that we want to have.
Saw some young players get drafted high, like Traden Stukes is up there as well, another safety. What have you seen from him and your interaction with him? We don't know much about him. Raider Nation is just learning.
No, he's a young guy who's going to come in. You know, we've asked the staff has asked a lot of him, and I mean he showed up every single day. It's been so good to see. You know, I think he works. He's a workhorse. You know, he wants to know, he wants to understand, he wants to learn. So from a young player, that's a good sign.
Yeah. You and Rob Leonard obviously had the relationship last year, and now he's a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
What are the kind of things you guys have talked about as far as you know what your imprint is going to be on this defense?
Yeah, you know the big thing that Rob stands on, which I stand on as well, is the style of play. Yeah. You know, and you can have, you know, the X's and O's, you can have all the cards, you can try to, you know, play the last card and have the last card, but at the end of the day, it comes down to style of play. And, you know, that's how I've always, you know, that's what I fell in love with this game, just how certain guys have always played the game. That's how I choose to play the game.
Physical, right?
Physical and fast. And that's how Rob preaches it. So, you know, we definitely see eye to eye on that, and I think, you know, it should be a fun year.
It's a different aura around here right now. Can you talk to us a little bit about, like, the difference between this time last year than this time now? Like, the difference between Coach Kubiak and Pete Carroll, and just how you felt at this time now getting ready for the season?
I mean, that's a tough question, but, you know, I'd say where we are now is just, like, Kubiak has a certain way that he wants to see things done. And I feel like just the competitiveness and the way we want to hold each other to a certain standard, from offense to defense, and it's just a level of work that we feel like we still need to earn everything. You know what I mean? And nothing's going to be given to us. I mean, we don't even have the shields on our helmets right now. You know what I mean? So it's just like everything is going to have to be earned from top to bottom, everybody.
What was it like for you this offseason, you know, coming out of a tough season for the Raiders overall, not the outcome they wanted, not the record they wanted, and then sitting there and as the news kept coming in about free agents, okay, you got Kwity Paye, cool. Okay, you got Nakobe Dean, cool. Okay, Quay Walk, cool. And were you like, hold on, hold on. And Maxx is back. Okay. Like, what were you sitting at home, like, getting this news or coming into the building working out? Like, who else?
Yeah.
We getting all Georgia Bulldogs? Like, what are we doing here?
Nah, for real. I was so excited. I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, like we have so many weapons, and like we can attack from so many different ways. Like whether it's Quay, whether it's Nakobe, Maxx, myself, Kwity. Like, I mean, we have so many areas we can attack in offense, and like it just makes everybody's job so much easier. So, I mean, seeing all these signings, I was a geek.
Yeah, we were too. We were right there with you.
Have you had any conversations with Coach Kubiak and kind of trying to see what vision he has for the defensive side of football?
Yeah. I mean, Coach Kubiak, he's really looking for, I mean, really somebody just to emerge on that defensive side. And I feel like that should be me. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I feel that way is, I mean, at this point in my career, I feel like I've seen a lot, I've experienced a lot, but also like there's so much more ahead of me. Just from my experiences, you know, what I've learned from myself, what I've learned from my teammates, and what's required of me to be the best version of myself.
The young quarterback. You in the secondary, you got some reps against him. You played against some really good quarterbacks already in the National Football League. Yeah. What's something that you see from him that you like, okay, he's going to be one of them ones?
Yeah. I mean, I've had, I think everybody's had their eyes on Fernando since he was still playing in college. So just his competitiveness definitely sticks out. And he asks questions. Like I mean, even when we're just sitting at breakfast, he asks me who are some of the quarterbacks you played against, like the best quarterbacks you played against, and like what makes them great and stuff like that. So even just a young guy just asking questions like that, you know, I try to give him, you know, answers that are correct answers from my perspective at least. But I mean, as far as like on the field, like you see, like he throws a phenomenal football. It looks great. But yeah, I mean, you could tell he's just somebody who wants to learn, you know.
What was your answer to that question? Did you try to equate quarterbacks that are kind of built like him or played like his style, or did you just pick the best and say what made them the best?
Yeah, I mean, I told him some of the quarterbacks that I was able to play against, like Tom Brady, for example. I played against Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. You know, I played against a lot of really good quarterbacks. And one thing that I told him was just their processing. Like, it was impossible to hit Tom Brady just because he always had an answer. You know, he knew when we were in cover 2 where he was going to go with the ball, or cover 4, or cover 3. So I just told him just the processing was a big part, and everybody kind of, you know, throws a good football, you know, at this point in the league. So that's about it.
Great answer, though.
Yep.
I love that. And it shows a lot about Mendoza that he's going up to safeties, right? You would think he's going to, you know, veteran quarterbacks or offensive coordinators, but I think that shows the type of research that he's looking for. Jeremy, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you stopping by.
Man, dude.
Yeah, we can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the secondary. I know how much focus has been on this secondary, especially in the AFC West. Can't wait to see y'all pick off some balls. All right, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a break here at Raiders Media Day, and when we come back, who's that?
That's that Quay. That's that dog.
Quay Walker coming up. He's going to be joining the show when we come back.
This is our 3rd Champions for Safety event, and today we're here at the Raiders practice facility with a bunch of young athletes, all-stars.
So very nice to meet everybody. I think it's important for women to be in sports for a plethora of different reasons, especially the girls that I met today, you know, them paving the path for the younger generation to come play flag football.
I just fell in love with the aggression of it, and I love the environment. I love that girls get to be physical and aggressive while still being girly. It reminded me of when I first started, and so being able to give them advice I wish I had, like, it made me feel really good to be able to do that.
The Knoxville and the Raiders, they've done so much for the community. They've helped so many kids.
We're here, we donated these shock absorbent headbands for flag football, some really cool gear, just to see the journey of these athletes to get to where they got. They deserve it.
Knowing that we have the Raiders, it feels really good.
So I see here on your application that you've had multiple roles.
Well, you see, human resources lady, I'm kind of like a leopard, right? I'm always adapting to my environment.
It's actually Pam.
Oh, sorry, Pan?
Pam.
Pants.
Pam.
Are you saying Pam or are you saying Pan?
I'm saying Pam. I'm sorry, who was that gentleman sitting behind you?
Hello, Miss Lady. I'm Brock, AJ's teammate. I think I can help with this whole Pan dilemma.
Pan.
Raider Nation, it's time for another breakdown. Keyron Crawford, powerful edge guy that we got in the 2026 draft. Here we go. You're gonna see some things that you recognize right off the jump here. Just amazing, powerful first move. Just love the power, the speed here. Get down, get that sack. Edge guy. Remember, guys, we're going to a 34 defense, so we need more edge guys, powerful edge players like this. Don't come around often, and there are levels to this, guys. If you get a guy the first 3 rounds, you want them to either start or be great contributors to your football team the next year, and I think he can do this. The things that he has done and he's showing on film definitely cross over. Does an amazing job here. I love the fact that he may not have tested at, you know, a 4.4 or 4.5, but he has great explosiveness on his first step or his first hand step. See that? I mean, just amazing ability to be able to avoid that big tackle with great arms, the hand swings, the technique here, getting down low, powerful, bull rushing. That's what we see here. He continues to play with great power and leverage, and you have to have a different change-up move here. Watch this, because if you don't watch, you might miss it. Bam, just disappears. Gets slippery, gets small. I love him. Crawford does a great job there of what we call just a great bend here. Just disappears. So Crawford tells you and lets you know that yes, He has a great first step. He has some bend about it, and he has some power. All those things will work terrifically on the other side of Maxx Crosby. You have to have that like number 2 guy. And we'll finish up here and just show you a little bit of versatility in his game. Yes, he can pass rush. He got the power. He can slip. But you know what? Hey, not can drop in coverage. And you know what? Tips and overthrows. We got to get all those, right? So you have to have the ability to be able to come off ball if you're trying to rush different passers and get the loops and stunts and those kind of things. So Crawford shows you right there, he has some versatility. That's it this time on Raiders Breakdown.
Wearing the silver and black is a privilege meant for a few, sought out by many.
We're the best team in the world. Simple as that.
You win here, it's special.
But what is it about the Raiders exactly? Is it the shield, a symbol of greatness, influence, unchanging, forever instilling a commitment to excellence?
The Raiders introduced Klint Kubiak as their new head coach this morning.
The colors, the silver and black.
This is no ordinary job. This is the silver and black.
Timeless in every way.
Shoot, what's up, Mr. Brady? How you doing?
Whatever it may be, like us or not, we don't care. Allow us to remind you, there's 31 other teams. Then there's us.
This is basically the greatest offseason for a single team in NFL history.
It's a new dawn.
It's such an iconic logo.
New challenges, same goal.
There's a lot of hope this is the catalyst.
The pursuit of greatness continues.
And welcome to the dark side.
Welcome back. It is Raiders Media Day 2026. We got Raider Nation right here inside the Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center. James Jones, Eric Allen, along with me. I should say Emmy nominated. Both of you. Raiders Game Day was Emmy nominated, so congratulations.
When
do we
find out? When do we find out?
I think like the end of June. We were going to win.
That's all y'all, man.
Come on now. we all win. That's all we do.
You were behind the camera.
Shout out to our producers,
Yes.
Alex, Payton, Keaton, everybody
Absolutely.
that keeps us in line. That really
like a
is
family.
a nomination for them.
Really
Yep.
is.
But it's fun to be doing shows with you again. An exciting time to be a part of Raider Nation.
Yep.
As the roster looks completely different. We're awaiting a lot more stars coming through the set. We're going to be live here until 1 o'clock Pacific, waiting for Maxx Crosby. Oh, there's Max over there. He's way over there saying hello to he's saying hello to everybody. Number 98's over there. He'll be making his way over here. We have Brock. There he is. See? The most popular guy in the building everywhere he goes.
He look lean
Brock
and mean
Bowers.
like me.
He does look lean and mean. Walking
Hey,
around
you almost look like me, dog.
What's up, Max?
You almost look like me.
Hey, Maxx Crosby right there. We'll be talking to him in just a minute.
Was Media Day like this for you?
Come on, E.
Huh?
We was in Alameda. We was in Alameda. We ain't had nobody was there doing TV. We ain't had none of these curtains. Nobody was coming out. They said, "Hey man, put your jersey on, go take a headshot, and get your butt on up out of there and enjoy your day."
That's right.
Now
It's a
they
good
got,
time
now
to
they
be a
got the
Raider.
Vegas Strip over there.
Right.
And they got the stadium over there. They plushed out, but this is big time, though.
Yeah, this
but
is
they
big
do this
time.
for you and Amber, though. They ain't had it for me.
Well, you didn't have this. You didn't have this anywhere you went.
A team picture, that was it.
Dang, you
That's
ain't
it.
have a
Family
headshot,
round. Headshot, no.
It does show you, though, one of
We've
the
come a
reasons
long way.
It's not just the Raider brand that's one of the top brands as far as sports in the world, not just the NFL, one of
Yeah.
the most popular brands.
Yeah.
People love having Raiders across their chest. It's also the fact that this facility, the city of Las Vegas, the stadium, if you don't think that affects recruiting free agents, one of the reasons, the Raiders got the best center in the NFL that was available for free agency.
Yeah.
We've already said Kwity Paye and Kobe Dean. I mean, all these, Quay Walker, all these people that they've brought in had a choice.
Yeah.
You have to remember, they had a choice, and they chose to go with the Raiders. And shout out to Mark Davis and the city of Las Vegas for what they've been able to do. This is a big recruitment tool.
That's a great point. And the building is amazing, right? But when you get here, it's the people inside the building. The equipment room, the best guy in the league handles
Hands
the equipment
down.
room. And he's been, there for probably 40 years.
Yeah.
And everyone in there does a great job. The the cafeteria. You know, I can't wait to get here, to get to the cafeteria. So
when is our lunch break? Is the salmon ready yet? They have some of the best salmon.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Things like that do matter.
Yes, it does matter.
In recruitment of the players, and I'm sure they feed them a good meal when they come to recruit them. But I want to talk a little bit about some questions that you have on the football field. So when you show up, we're going to show up to camp in a month. Right after OTAs that are coming up tomorrow and Wednesday. Then we're going to have about 4 weeks off. We come back in the middle of July. JJ, what is the first thing you will look at when we show up on that field at training camp? You always go to the receivers. You literally go downfield to be in their face.
You know, I got to trot over there to the receivers. We got 2 good quarterbacks that can spin them the ball, so I'm going to trot down there to the receivers. No, but to be honest with you, though, like I say, I've been sitting up here next to you guys. I've been saying defense.
Yeah.
And I think we have a chance to be a top 5 defense in the National Football League. So I want to go over there and see how Quay practice. I want to see how Nakobe Dean practice. I obviously know how Maxx going to practice. I want to see Kwity Paye. I want to see how this defense is getting active. Kubiak just came from a place to where, yes, your offense was good, but your defense was elite. And you won a Super Bowl. And you did that with not an elite quarterback, in my humble opinion. And if our quarterbacks can play at an elite level with an elite defense, man, the sky's the limit for this Raiders team. So usually I go to my receivers, but I'm going to sneak over there to EA side of the ball. I want to see this defense because I'm excited about them. I think it's going to be a really good defense.
Yeah, you make a great point about the last Super Bowl winner, and then the Super Bowl winner before that focused on obviously the running game and defense also, and offensive line.
Man.
So for me, you're going to be over the defense. I'm going to be at the offensive line. The offensive line, I think, is the most important aspect of this football team. In the previous years, we haven't had an offensive line that we really knew going into week 2 or 3. We're still juggling guys and having competition at the position. It cannot be that way this year. And I think the sooner that offensive line is established and playing well, the sooner we're going to see Mendoza play, because we don't want him to create bad habits. And with an offensive line that's up and down, guys are going to be healthy, and I think that's really the key offensively to how we play.
The NFL is undoubtedly kind of going retro. They're going backwards as far as I can remember a period from about 2012 to 2022. I have to look at the stat where not one running back went in the first round. Running backs were devalued. They weren't making as much money. Now the running game, as you said, the last 2, the Super Bowl MVP was a running back. So running backs are important. We haven't even brought up Ashton Jeanty. You know, that's who I'm going to be looking at when we go to training camp.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because the man got almost just under 1,000 yards and was hit before the line of scrimmage like 25% of the time. He barely had an opportunity to even get to the second level and still put up that kind of yardage. So I think that's going to be the focus. Obviously, it starts with the offensive line, whether he's able to do that. But he did that last year without an offensive line. You have to argue this line's going to be improved. We don't know how great just yet, but we do know improved. And so that's why I'm excited to see what Ashton Jeanty can do.
That's a great point, because I've had a chance to play with some great quarterbacks, from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr, and when we don't have a running game and didn't have a running game and you can drop 7, it don't matter how special your quarterback is. And that's the Brett Favres and the Aaron Rodgers and the Derek Carr. It don't matter how special it is. So if we can't run the ball to bring extra guys down in that box so we can work the play action pass so Mendoza can get the ball out of his hands, if we don't do that, it's going to be a long season. So he is a big key to this offense really taking off. And if you look at the offense last year that Kubiak is coming from, it was a 2-headed monster at running back. And then once Corbin got hurt, then that's when my man Charbonnet got hurt, and that's when obviously Kenneth Walker took off. But he is going to be the key to this offense having a lot of success.
He really is. And him and the rookie both have that type of playmaking ability, and that's what's important. Through all of the struggles of the offensive line, and we saw him make explosive plays, able to utilize him in the passing game also. But I was really impressed by how he was able to, at the end of the football, because that rookie season, I mean, around week 11 or 12, I mean, you're gassed. I mean, it's you're used to like bowl preparation. And it's still season after season. So I was really impressed at how he finished the season last year. Hopefully we can get a lot more of those explosive plays.
And there is a question at wide receiver, who exactly is the number one? Well, it's Brock Bowers, who's going to be coming up in just a bit. But your tight end can't necessarily be your number one, or else he's going to get double teamed. You need somebody that's going to pull that safety over, right? Yeah. And we talked about the second-year receivers that are going to be battling for that position, but John Spytek kind of said, we're not running an offense that has a number one outside kind of designated X, right? We're going to have guys that move around, so they kind of don't need, look what he did with JSN last year, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Klint Kubiak. What are you expecting to see from the receiving core? Oh, hold on, wait, hold that thought. I should ask you what you thought. I thought about. We're hearing that there's another guest coming. I think y'all are going to like this one. Big things expected from the big guy. Brock Bowers coming in, number 89 for the Las Vegas Raiders. Brock, welcome in.
Good number.
There he is.
Had to bring up retirement.
Good number, man. I'll take it.
That man had one of the best rookie season ever for an NFL tight end in history. Welcome.
What's up, man?
What's up, Brock?
All right, man.
Good to see you, my man. How are you?
Good. Doing good.
Brock, how does it feel just to be healthy? I mean, you started out beginning of last year. You missed some games. I know you were dying to get back out there. Just to come into the season and be like, I'm good.
Yeah, it was frustrating. First game last year, I kind of banged up my knee a little bit and threw it off a little bit. So it feels good being back out there, full speed during OTAs and going into mini camp. So I'm excited.
Yeah, you look great, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah.
What are the things that you worked on this offseason and continue to work on to help you be an even better player coming into next year?
Yeah. A big focus of my offseason was kind of just injury prevention stuff, just trying to stay healthy and just stay in shape, coming back to Vegas, getting to work, and all the normal stuff, working on my craft.
All right.
First impressions of Coach Kubiak's offense. You like it? We're going to see Brock Bowers on the outside and the slot and the backfield. First impressions of the offense, how you feeling about it?
Yeah, we'll see. I really like it so far. He's putting some really good stuff, and obviously he's a really, really bright guy. So I'm excited to see what we do this year because watching tape from last year, them in Seattle, they did a great job. So I'm excited.
I know this doesn't have to do with football, but I think it's fun. A lot of people don't know that you're from wine country and that your family launched the Bowers family wine, the family's wine business.
All right.
Is this your venture? Was this a massive family venture? And when can we get some free bottles?
Man.
I know. No, it's kind of been in the works for a little bit. So it's kind of like me and my family. We all kind of decided to do it, and it's kind of just like a fun little thing that we're doing on the side. So no, it's been good so far.
Was your family in the winery business?
Not really, but being in Napa, my dad was kind of in construction business, so he was kind of doing some stuff with some other vineyards and things like that. So he got pretty involved with it.
Okay, what's the best one? Which one should we get first? I'm a Pinot Noir. Which one's the best? Or I'm a Pinot Noir girl. Which one, Bowers family wine, should we try out?
Oh, we just have a cab.
So. Oh, just a cab. Okay.
That's the one we're getting in.
Anything red, we'll take it. Yeah.
Oh, those that are red grapes? Or
I don't know. The red grapes, right?
Yeah, red grapes.
You drink that with meat, right?
Yes.
He doesn't drink.
I'm not a huge wine guy. I don't drink a ton of wine myself.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about it.
Well, me and JJ do. So next time you show up, we'll take the free one. Thank you.
Steak. Oh yeah, I'll be looking for some free wine. My locker up there is a little smaller than yours, but I'll be looking for some free wine. Obviously, man, everybody's excited around here, strictly because of your play, but obviously the number one overall pick in Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, you were in the huddle with him, looking him in the eyes. He's calling some of these plays. Kind of just your first impressions of the young fella.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's came in here, worked super hard. It's hard for a rookie quarterback coming in, learning the playbook. It's a lot. It could be overwhelming, but he's done a really good job at settling in. And really, I've been impressed on how much he's been able to learn throughout the last couple weeks and how fast he's been tracking. So I'm excited to see what he does.
Good.
We noticed in your off-season presser, and we can see it now, are you a little bit slimmer? I mean, you look lean and mean, but muscular, Yeah. Did you slim down a little bit?
No, I weigh like the exact same as I did last year.
Really?
Yeah. I'm always right between 235 and 240.
Yeah, maybe you just got a good night's sleep. Yeah, because we're reading it. It's a good look. What's the most exciting thing that you're going to be looking forward to in training camp? I mean, the thing that you want to – obviously you can't hit in OTAs and mini camps and stuff. What is the number one thing you're going to be looking for the second you hit the field?
Yeah, I'm excited to just go against some of our DBs, like TJ and Jeremy Chinn again. So I'm excited to go against those guys in training camp, one-on-ones, and really try to get better, make them better, and just try to improve.
I'll tell you, we can't wait to see year 3 after that rookie season that you had, and then bouncing back last year, but coming in healthy now. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially whoever's playing quarterback, Kirk or Fernando. We know you're going to have a big year. Thanks for being with us, Brock.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, thanks, Brock Bowers.
Take care,
in
bro.
his 3rd year.
Yep.
Looking good. Thanks, Brock. See, a good night's sleep just helps out everybody. All right, when we come back, we're going to take a break here on Raiders Media Day 2026. There he is. Number 98, Maxx Crosby is coming up next. Stick with us. You don't want to miss it.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Fernando.
You're gonna have to call me Kirk O'Chains.
Cool. You're gonna have to call me the Nandalorian.
So this is the locker room, and rule number 1 is do not step on the shield.
What happens if I sneeze around it?
Don't do it!
What if I...
Don't do it! So what's the best Star Wars movie? Empire Strikes Back or Rogue One?
Ha! Trick question. Star Wars A New Hope, which was originally titled just Star Wars in 1977, but then they changed it to Star Wars A New Hope in 1981. Say your favorite football play on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Turbo right, 63 wide shallow. Jinx!
Did we just become best friends?
Yup!
Nice!
I'm about to show you the most prized possession from my 15-year NFL career.
Thank you for trusting me. Oh my, it's beautiful, Mr. Chains.
This is a signed sword from Las Vegas' own Donny Osmond.
I loved him in Joseph the Musical.
Go, 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 Joseph, you know what they say. Don't stare at this too long.
Ashton Jeanty through the hole. Touchdown
There he goes.
Raiders. They only bring 4.
Back door.
There's Maxx Crosby with the sack back at the 5.
It's about that time. We invite you to the slaughterhouse. Are you ready? That's the way it goes down like that. That's the way it goes down like that. That's the way it goes down.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup!
Welcome back. It is Raiders Media Day 2026. For many of the new players, the first time to wear the silver and black. And of course, one of the best Raiders of all time is a fan favorite here. Raider Nation is in the building. James Jones, Eric Allen. No, I was going to.
This came right to me.
Two of the best Raiders of all time are with me, but probably one of the number 1 favorite Raiders of all time is Maxx Crosby. Number 98 is in the building. Uh-oh. There he is, the condor, the wingspan larger than most pterodactyls. Enter in the building. What's up, Max?
What up, my guy?
Yeah, my guy.
How are you? How are you?
All right.
Man, everybody's been waiting for Max to come in, that is for sure. Entering Season 8, I don't think anybody is more excited than you to be out there. I mean, it just seems like there's an energy. There's always a focus and an energy, but it just seems like there's just you're just dedicated to making this year so different because of the guys around you. Mm-hmm. What did you think when you heard, okay, we got Quay, we got Nakobe, we're getting Kwity Paye, and then you see in the draft some of the young talent, the edge rushers you got?
Yeah, honestly, every year is a different journey, and
there's no secret. It's been a different offseason, to say the least.
Welcome to the NFL, right? You never thought you could learn more in year 8. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But honestly, it's been a blessing in disguise. I've had the chance to grow in a lot of ways. And, my former D coordinator, Gus Bradley, used to talk about uncomfortability and growth. And, that's something that I really, dove into this offseason because, without taking risk and being uncomfortable, you're never going to have a chance to have great growth. So that's really where I've been at. And I'm in an incredible place. And, we got a lot of work to do for sure. But we have, a lot of talent on both sides of the field. And, ultimately, it doesn't really matter what it says on paper. We got to go out there and find ways to win. And, that's the only reason why we play this game.
Man, I mean, you're just a marvelous, terrific football player. And, when people talk about Maxx, talk about the effort, you're in the building early. What are the things that you continue to add to your game? What's the thing this year that you needed to add to your game to put you at that next level?
Yeah, there's always, room for growth and improvement. And for me, this offseason, I want to do, pack a little bit more of a punch as far as, in the weight room and strength and hitting the trap bar and doing certain things, put a little bit more muscle on. I think it'll help, just physically, staying healthy. Yep. And just in general, improve my game. And that's something we really worked on, and I feel incredible. Physically, I've been PRing, across the board. I PR'd and all my stuff this morning. So nice. That's something I've really been focused on because I can't be out there with the guys right now. And there's, you could either look at it as like a poor me and feel bad for yourself, or you can, find ways to improve in other areas that you typically wouldn't have the time, that big allotted amount of time to go out there and focus on other things that you can add to your game. So I've been, across the board just with all, everybody involved helping me, get back to, 200%, health. And, we've been working nonstop, and it's been incredible so far.
What pushes Maxx Crosby? I tell the kids all the time that I coach, effort's a talent. I truly believe that. Because if everybody could do it, they'll do it, and they don't do it at a consistent level. And you play with the effort and 24/7. I mean, that's what people really, truly praise you about, and to put yourself in the right position every time. What pushes you or triggers you in your mind at, like, every play, they're going to get this? Because people could say that, but they don't bring it every play.
Yeah.
What in your mind or triggers you, or when you're getting ready for a game or a season, that, man, every play I'm going to be this type dude?
Yeah, it's really, it comes down to the preparation and having the mindset where every time I go out there, I'm trying to impose my will. And I feel like, and the reason I've been able to, be put in this position and loved by, the fans and, being in a spot to lead is because of my actions. You know what I mean? Every single day I come in here with intentionality, and I want to improve and show the guys how it's done. And, you can't just be great by being smart. You can't just be great by being a high effort guy. You got to be able to tie all those things together. And, when you have the ability and you take the time in the film room and you put your body through hell so you can go out there and give out full effort all the time, and you just combine that and just fine-tune your skill, and you just become more and more obsessed with playing this game because you realize that there's another level you can get to and another level. And that's why, I work so hard, because I want to be able to go out there and be the best version of myself for my teammates so we can go out there and have the best chance to win.
But you also aim high, right? So, like, there's a difference between being a great player, which you are, and then being one of the greatest of all time when it's all done. And there's a legacy, and you've always kind of seen that. But what people don't see is the process, and it feels like every decision you make is so intentional. I mean, is your day, do you really focus on those micro kind of decisions that will make the tiniest bit of difference between great and greatness?
Yeah, 100%. I don't play this game to be one of the best. I want to be the best, and I truly mean that. And it takes every bit of fiber and energy in your body to have a chance at doing that. So, yeah, it's all the little things that pay off in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to show up and do the conditioning test. Everyone's going to show up to practice and do practice for 2 hours. It's about all the little things when people aren't looking. It's about when you go home and how are you resting and how are you recovering and all those things that don't get all the shine, but they matter, and nobody is forcing you to get in there. Nobody's watching you do it. You got to make that choice and decision. So, like, the people that are most consistent in the things that are not glorifying, which is time-consuming and, takes up, sacrifice and time and effort, like, I feel like I'm the best in the world at that part of it because it's really hard.
That, right?
Yeah, and people don't see it.
That.
100%.
Yeah, it's midnight and you're hungry and you're like, there's an Oreo and an almond cracker.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take the almond cracker. That's hard to do because nobody's going to see it. Rachel's not even going to see it. Nobody's telling on you.
That's the biggest difference.
It is the difference. People don't understand that.
I ain't going to get no almond cracker.
That's interesting you said that because I think that's the one thing that the guys, you make the phone calls in the off season, whether for me, it was like Darryl Green. I would call him and like, man, how were you successful against this guy? And when you have those phone calls and people are calling you and you're calling guys to just get that extra little bit to put you over the top, what are you saying to that young guy who's calling you, or the questions you're asking to whoever? You're calling Miles Garrett,
who are you calling? I want to, because everybody calls you.
Right.
Yeah. Who do you say, okay, what did you do? I want to be great.
No, that's real. Yeah. I think, when I first came in the league, the biggest thing to me, and I think was one of the most beneficial and best decisions I made, was reaching out to all the best guys. Like, I literally DM'd J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Chandler Jones. Like, I swear to God, I was just cold trying to get in contact with them.
That's good.
And they all reached out at some point. And I just wanted to learn from them because, you just said it. Like, I'm not trying to be one of the best. I'm trying to be the best. And those are all the best at what they do. So I was taking nuggets from all of them, and I still do to this day. But, yeah, you talk about the NFL right now, there's so many guys that reach out. But for me, like, those are the same guys that I reach out to. Like, Von Miller's doing it at a level where you already know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer and he's still playing. Like, that's the level of guy that I want to, be considered at, a guy that's not just, a great, a guy that's immortal, you know what I mean, that's going to be talked about forever. So there's always things you can learn. And honestly, the other thing is it's not just my sport. Like, there's greatness in all different type of ways, And, I'm a huge basketball guy. Everyone knows that. So a guy like Michael Jordan, like, I call Michael often, you know what I mean, or text him and ask him questions.
What's 23 tell you?
Hey, the things I hear from him are probably the coolest thing on the planet, you know what I mean? But, like, guys like him or, guys that have done it at the highest level, because you could talk about it and guys could, say they've been that, but it's like there's a certain group of guys that have done it at a level where it's almost untouchable, and that's what I'm chasing every day.
Really quick, I know we got to let you go. The young fella came over to your house on your court and he lost in horse. Just let us know, can he shoot it or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. When you have to start with me, you know what I mean? It's honestly
can he shoot it or not? Because I got flick of the wrist over here. I'm just making sure he can shoot.
I believe it. He got put in a bad spot. And it wasn't his bad. I'll just leave it.
You're making excuses for the young. You're a good teammate. That's okay. He said he couldn't even play in high school. It's okay. He had the Boozer brothers on his high school.
As long as he could throw the ball.
That's all we care about.
That's all we need.
Max, your journey's been fun to watch, and we can't wait to see. We know where the legacy's going. We know what the end game is. We see it, and we can't wait to see where it goes this year. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you,
Max.
man.
Maxx Crosby, year 8. I'll see you soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's the man right there.
I mean, Michael Jordan, what?
Yeah, I gotta get him in the 619 and get him on my court. I gotta get Max on my court.
I did not want that interview to end because that just shows you there is kind of this elite company within that crosses over. Did you ever talk to other athletes outside of football? Who were the guys that you said, hey man, I want to know what
Barry
you do?
Bonds, and just like the mentality of how he approached the pitcher. I talked to Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, just, because I was a baseball guy when I was younger. So those are the guys, like, to stand up and face, like, the greatest pitchers ever, to be able to kind of understand and process what you have to do to be successful is how I felt at cornerback when you're lined up against, Jerry or Randy or whoever, T.O. I mean, it's one-on-one, basically. It's a team sport. But at my position, for me to be successful, I got to have the mentality like I'm going to be great on every single play.
Yeah, but that mindset, to have that mindset, like I said, every play, to me, that's a talent.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just keep flipping the switches, man.
No,
Max is Max, 24/7.
Got to be on.
We'll be praising everybody if they had,
Yeah.
that mindset. And a lot of people say they got that mindset.
Yeah.
But you really don't.
But look, seeing every snap as an opportunity, and not just like an entire game, like, hey, I have the whole game to do it. This snap, I have to win this snap. The next snap, I have to win that snap. That really is that micro kind of mindset. A lot of people are more macro, and that's the difference between the great ones.
Separation.
That is a separation. It's a game of inches. It is. All right, let's bring in one of our favorites, our colleague with Silver and Black Productions, Raiders.com. It is Paul Gutierrez. I need to get my soccer. Gutierrez. What was that? That was a Bay Area. That was a Bay Area thing.
He was flying or something. I don't know if that had any Bay Area in it right there, Amber.
Oh, he's a wrestling guy. That's a wrestling thing. I didn't know.
Who's your wrestling guy? Who's your wrestling guy?
What's up, Paul? Good to see you, my friend.
As Razor Ramon would say.
Razor Ramon. There you
go. Hey, yo.
Hey, it's good to see you, my friend. How are you?
What's going on? You've just been sitting in the back, kind of watching you guys keep it going and keep it lively. And what a letdown for the fans to go for Max to me.
No. They were very excited. They were very excited about it.
Different. Different, but same.
Paul, you're here every day. You're here in the building every day with Raiders.com and all the Raiders platforms. You have had an up-close look at the transformation, and it has been a massive transformation from January 8th, I think was the last game, or 7th, to now. What do you think is the biggest, most impactful move that the Raiders made this offseason?
I think you start at the top, right? I mean, you go with the coach because he's the it's where everything begins. It's where the new mentality comes from. It's where the offense comes from. It's where a mentality comes from. And when you start there and then everything kind of filters down from there, that to me is the most impactful because, well, basically it's the first move.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of flows from there. So when you get Klint Kubiak in here who, oh, by the way, after he's introduced, he has to go to a Super Bowl parade and then he comes back to go to work. I mean, I don't know if there's any better thing to put up on the wall.
Excuse me, I got a Lombardi to get. I'll be right back to start my head coaching job.
Yeah. So to me, that's, I mean, it seems like it's simple, but it's not because you can look from there. Then you start looking at the free agents. Then you start looking at the draft. But it all kind of begins with what's that mentality, what's that focus, what's that vision, and it starts from the head coach.
Yeah, I love talking to you because you can, take the present and go back in the future and kind of compare and contrast. Where in the Raiders' future, or excuse me, in the past, have you seen like the changes and moves that kind of is similar to this?
Well, there's been a lot of Band-Aids placed on things over the years.
Yep.
And this feels different in that there's some Band-Aids, but it's not one big Band-Aid. There's a vision here. There's a future in where they're going. You can see the blueprint being put into place. And I'm not even call it a blueprint. It's the silver and black print is being put in place here by somebody that just won a Super Bowl, by a second-year GM that has paid his dues to be in that seat. This reminds me a lot of the 2017 season in terms of you had a team that just went to the playoffs in 2016. It felt good. There was an excitement among the fan base. And everybody seems to not only be on the same page now, but pulling in the same direction. We're talking after 10 OTA practices, mind you, and getting ready to do a mini camp.
Definitely
so there's a lot of things that are still going to be revealed. They're going to reveal themselves. But in terms of just this vibe, this feeling that's around this organization right now, I haven't felt this in a minute.
What excites you most about this season coming up?
Just how everybody seems to be pulling in the same direction. And we were sitting here in these same seats last year, right? We're like, oh, everybody's on the same page. Okay, but you didn't feel everybody pulling in the same direction from jump. Now you feel everybody pulling in the same direction. What gets me excited is there seems to be a plan. And the plan, there's already pelts on the wall with that plan as well. And it's not somebody that won a Super Bowl a decade ago. It's somebody that just literally won a Super Bowl. And coaches that came with them. And things that from the players, they're all buying in. Again, mind you, this is only 10 practices of OTAs into it, but that's what excites me is that everybody is buying in and everybody's healthy. And as Mark Davis always says, we're undefeated.
Yeah.
Undefeated and unproven,
Yeah.
and so that's where I think everybody tempers the expectations. But I don't necessarily do that because if you have great players, you have great coaches, we have seen how quickly things can turn around in the NFL. I mean, nobody, and I don't buy but they're in the AFC West. Well, the NFC West was pretty tough. Last time I checked, and nobody had the Seattle Seahawks in 2025 coming in and going to the Super Bowl in that division and winning. And I don't think anybody had the New England Patriots instead of the Bills coming in that division and winning. So
Right.
I don't buy the predictions because bringing in good players, bringing in good coaches, and as you said, pulling in the right direction can turn things around really quickly. When you look across the roster, as you talked about bringing in new players, obviously Fernando Mendoza, having a quarterback that's the #1 overall pick is huge. But as far as the rest of the roster and the additions, what are some of the biggest adds that you think will have an immediate impact in week 1?
Tyler Linderbaum. Because
Whoever says a center, by the way, that just shows you how good he is and how important that position is in this offense.
And I know I'm saying this sitting next to a Hall of Fame cornerback and a guy that that led the league in touchdown catches one year as a receiver. Yeah, we always got to give James his flowers on that.
Right.
Now we just got to get him to light the torch, but that's a different topic.
Bringing up all the sore subjects.
No, but to me, games are won and lost in the trenches. And it really simply starts there, and everything else kind of goes from there. I know whether it was John Madden or Tom Flores believed in building a team from the trenches out or starting from the cornerbacks coming in. To me, it starts in the trenches because you saw what happened last year with that, facts are facts.
Yeah.
The Raiders had the lowest rated offensive line in the entire NFL last year. So now you bring in the crown jewel of the offensive line free agent class and Tyler Linderbaum. He's going to make the calls. He's going to see everything that's going on. And now you got a healthy Colton Miller. You got a healthy JPJ. You add some pieces here and there. And you bring in Rick Dennison and his 4 Super Bowl rings to kind of whip him into shape. It's obvious that they like what they saw in terms of personnel on the offensive line. It just kind of needs shine it up a little bit, get it going. So to me, that's the biggest acquisition, is probably the most boring. Offensive line, because you don't want to talk about the offensive linemen, because when you're talking about offensive linemen, guys, right, they're usually messing up.
Right.
It's not boring because
penalty,
we all sat here last year and we watched our young running back not even have a chance to get going.
Right.
So it ain't boring when you bring in some big time offensive linemen, especially the one that is touching the football every time and basically the quarterback of the offensive line, making sure that this run game could get going. Because like he just sat up here and said. Our job is to make sure all these dudes get all the accomplishments they can accomplish.
Yeah.
And they ain't going to accomplish none of that if this offensive line ain't ready to go. So, obviously, that's a big time pickup for the
and I had DJ Glaze on the podcast upon further review last week, and we talked about, from offensive lineman standpoint, they don't have stats per se. Yeah, they can get a pancake block, and they like that. I said, well, what gets you guys going? What makes you feel good? He said, when Jay and I are forcing our guys 10 yards down the field, and we see Ashton, boom, gone.
Yeah.
That's what gets an offensive lineman going and feeling good about it. And like you mentioned, despite all the hiccups and everything that happened, Ashton was still only a 25-yard pickup away from a 1,000-yard rookie rushing season.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And another thing, too, that makes them happy is their pockets is a little fat, too, though. Right?
that helps. That does help. Two positions that I have a question about that, last year the secondary did not play well. And cornerback, as EA will tell you, you got to, you're playing against Patrick Mahomes. Now you got Bo Nix in this offense with the Broncos and Justin Herbert. Like, you have to have corners. Break down where you think the state of the corner position is within the Raiders.
Yeah, I think Eric Stokes is a huge part of that, right? Because he was kind of on a prove-it contract last year, and he proved it, and he got the contract, and he's coming back. So there's some veteran leadership there. They addressed it in the draft, and I was listening to somebody talk about the Raiders secondary, and there's so much versatility there that you got guys that can not only play on the outside and corner, they can play in the slot. Or wait a minute, they can play a smaller or a bigger safety with drafting Stukes early on. And you look at the roster right there. You got speed, you got length, you got range, you got a lot of things, but you also have a lot of unproven commodities there as well.
Yeah.
So I go back to a decade ago. Khalil Mack always telling me pass rush helps out the coverage. Coverage helps out the pass rush.
Don't believe that.
No?
It's all coverage.
Oh, it's all coverage. Okay, so we'll have you on the next UFR and we'll break that down.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where it's the yin and the yang of the defense. And the secondary, we saw last year with the kind of player they brought in, that was the prototypical Legion of Boom type guys. Now you're seeing kind of a mishmash here of guys that can play all over the secondary. And that to me is really exciting. But again, it doesn't really mean anything until they're out there doing it.
Right.
So I think you can say that about the entirety of the team, is that there's a lot of potential, but we're old school guys here, and Amber, I know you're old school too. What was it, Bum Phillips said? Potential doesn't mean it means you haven't done anything yet. Yeah. I went Bum Phillips.
Like 2 generations.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that is probably competition-wise, not the safeties, but the cornerback position, the outside guys, who are you starting the season off with? I think that's extreme. It's as important as the offensive line to me. I mean, you need to figure out who the guys are so they can start to kind of process the game a little differently. And it's really about numbers. You know, we need turnovers. Like the interceptions, I think we had, 13, 10?
Not a lot.
Yeah. We need guys who are going to be able to get the football. And I think that's the one battle or the, battles that I'm going to be looking at during training camp. How about you?
I always have to be careful with this, right, now that I work inside the building in terms of the things that we see, because it's kind of privileged information anyways. But when you're out there on the field and you see certain lineups, you're like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It all kind of depends upon the matchup.
Yeah.
I think you can go ahead and write in pen, maybe even in Sharpie, Stokes.
Stokes, yeah, for sure.
But the other side is real interesting because you got Johnson, you got Richardson, you got Porter, it depends upon what kind of defense you want to throw out there. And I know there's been a lot has been made about going to a 3-4 base defense. And that actually is going to have a factor on what kind of secondary you're going to throw out there as well.
Yeah.
So, again, after 10 OTA practices, and we're able to see 3 of them, so we've seen 30% of the practices. And if you think that the coaching staff is going to let us see something in those 3 practices that they don't want us to see, it's hard to kind of make that judgment until we actually get into training camp. But right now, I think you got to go with the veteran guys or guys that are at least familiar with the system.
Yeah.
When another position, I'm just going to go through because I have a lot of questions about. Honestly, we have to keep it real. I think the wide receiver position is another one that's wide open. That's a competition that we're going to look. How do you see that shaping up? I mentioned earlier in the show. I mentioned earlier in the show that we heard John Spytek kind of say, this offense. You look at the way they used JSN last year with the Seattle Seahawks. They don't see Klint Kubiak having like a number one that just stays outside, like a true X,
True X.
And then looking at the personnel that they have, how do you think this shakes out?
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm going to, the self kind of alert here on UFR. I had Trey Tucker 2 weeks ago. And I asked him, I said, look, you, for all intents and purposes, you're wide receiver 1 right now. You're not the prototypical X. I asked Klint Kubiak, is there anybody that he kind of reminds you of? And he said yes, but he wasn't going to give me the name. So I asked Trey, I said, whose tape have you looked at that Coach Kubiak has coached, and who reminds you of that, and how do you see yourself playing, and why is it Rashid Shaheed? So it's somebody like that can just kind of do a lot of things in a fast, sure-handed, go up in traffic, because when you look at his stature, you think of him as more of a slot receiver. But he's not. He can do a lot of different things, and with that offense that Klint is bringing in, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for a lot of guys, minus that prototypical X receiver, right, James?
It's going to be interesting how this unfolds, because I think that's one of the spots that I kind of scratch my head about, because I want to see how this develops. If I'm just being honest, it's a lot of talent in the room, but it's not a lot of proven talent in the room. When you talk about the Seattle Seahawks offense last year, Kubiak knew on this play sheet, I got JSN. Brock Bowers is going to get double teamed. Getting off the bus, Brock Bowers is going to be double teamed.
He'll be double teamed at the hotel.
We have to have that guy that could win. In third down and second, we have to have that guy that's going to win. We can't allow people to double team Brock and load the box up. We got to have that guy that's going to win. I don't know who it is right now. It could be Trey Tucker. It could be Bech. I don't know. But right now we have to find out who that guy is going to be. So when you're looking at that play call sheet and you say, okay, they double teaming Brock all game long. We got to have it on this down. I don't know who that guy is right now. We got to figure that guy out.
You know what, JJ, though? Somebody's name we haven't brought up all show is Michael Mayer, and I think that has to factor into it in 12 personnel. He's getting creative, and he's not going to be a number one receiver.
I agree.
I'm not talking about that, but I'm just saying not having that number one true X. You have to look at those other kind of names where I think they'll be more creative.
Well, somebody else to think about that's real intriguing to me, and I've wanted to keep an eye on all offseason and see what he does when the pads come on, is Dante Thornton. I mean, because he's got the physical tools and the attributes to go up there and to be that prototypical 100%. X with the speed, with the physicality. But as we saw last year, he wasn't used to fighting for the ball in coverage, and that kind of hurt him a little bit. And you saw him in the locker room after the game in Denver when he broke down. And he wants it. It's not a matter of desire, or maybe even not even a matter of design. It's just a matter of experience. So with him, he seems to me to have those tools to be that prototypical X. Big guy, 6'5", runs like.
Send him out there and have him bang up against him in training camp, but because it's 6'4", a 4.3 40.
Yeah,
that's an asset that has to develop this year.
Yeah.
It just is.
He might have to play a lot of preseason just to get his confidence up there, because it could just be a confidence battle, and you not getting enough opportunities as the game went on, as the season went on. So that could be a confidence thing for him too. So maybe getting him going early would help him out. But one of these guys have to emerge to be that guy, to be able to. When Klint got the notes over there, he said, okay, yeah, I got this guy to get the ball to.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to utilize practice to really hone your skills, right? And if you can get into some situations where you're after practice and you're going one-on-one, working those things that have given you difficulty the previous season, always helped you out. And another thing, too, is if you don't have that receiver who's just physically gifted, you have to find a way in the game plan to find ways to, if Brock is double teamed, how can we put our guy in a situation where if he's not a guy who can get off press well, we're gonna move him a little bit before we start to play. So those things also are very important, to find a ways in your how you're setting up your offense to get your number one guy.
And also, that's another reason why you draft a quarterback number 1 overall, though, too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight or a game, but like you draft him number 1 overall to be special, to make everybody around you special. I remember playing with Aaron Rodgers. The defense used to be talking, we locking y'all down. We're going to be right there. Don't matter. Yeah. Aaron going to put the ball right here. You know, so even if you think you're right there, I'm not covered. So the quarterback is going to have to play elite level football too, knowing that we're still trying to search for that guy to be that true number 1. But that's a position group that a lot of eyes are on for sure.
Yeah, because there's a very fine line, right, between being a true number 1 wide receiver and being the number 1 pass catcher.
Very true.
Yeah, you'd be a production receiver as well. And I think the red zone is going to be a big focus this year. Obviously, the Raiders struggled in the red zone, or even getting to the red zone at times last year. Fernando Mendoza was great in the red zone. If you look at his college statistics, right? That's where he thrived. There's a lot of guys on this roster that I think are big red zone threats. I mean, obviously Brock Bowers is somebody you target, but with that height, we talk about Michael Mayer. We talk about that can win those 50-50 balls. And then Dante Thornton. I think that's kind of like a low-key storyline where the Raiders might have a strength because of the personnel.
That's where I want to see Jack Bech step up.
Right?
You know, because he is a big physical receiver.
I forgot to mention him.
And who's not afraid to stick his nose in there, whether he's blocking or going in the slot. I mean, that would be a matchup nightmare for any slot corner to see that big guy coming at you in the red zone. So they have a lot of talent on paper, but like we were talking about, it's a matter of making it happen. So where I'm really circling in the preseason is that the joint practices and that second exhibition game at Houston, because that's a nice defense to go against to try to figure out what you have at your disposal.
That's right.
So there's a lot of things that they're working on. I actually have a story coming out on Raiders.com later this afternoon. Three storylines to watch, and it's the most important position in team sports. Sorry, guys, the quarterback, but then also both lines, and just kind of everything kind of builds around that. And then with the guys that they've built, I know you asked me earlier what I'm most excited about is that the guys on this roster all want to be something. The guy that was just sitting here, Maxx Crosby, as he's saying, he doesn't want to just be one of the best. He wants to be the best. And it takes me back a decade or so ago when Howie Long addressed the team in Napa. You may have even been in the locker room when he said, do you want to be great or do you just want to be in the team picture? And that was the challenge, and I think that's the challenge for this team as well.
Paul Gutierrez, we're going to read all of your information. Like I said, you're in the building every day, in the know. Can't wait to see what you put out at Raiders.com and across all the platforms upon further review. You can catch him on that podcast as well. Thanks a lot, Paul.
One more for the bad guys, or the good guys.
All right.
Tony Montana. Thanks for being here with us, Paul. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Good to see you, my friend. All right, we're going to take a break here on Raiders Media Day Live. When we come back, more to come. Ashton Jeanty, Jack Bech still going to join this. Look, Jeremy Chinn just chilling. He already did his duties. Came and talked to us. We'll be right back.
This is John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm excited to get to work. Can't wait to learn.
You earned this, man. You deserve this. All right, now just come here and be yourself. Sound good?
Will do. Thank you so much again.
All right,
Can't wait to
congratulations.
prove it.
Hey, Trade John Spytek with the Raiders. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. You're about to be a Las Vegas Raider.
Thank you.
We are thrilled to get you, man. We've been a big fan of yours for a long time. Your leadership, your play style, your intelligence. You're the exact kind of guy we need right now. So I don't have to tell you that you got to bring your best because I know you're going to get it. So. John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You still got that silver and black outfit?
Hell
you showed
yeah.
up in? Hell yeah, you spoke it into existence, man. You're
Yes,
gonna be a
sir.
Las Vegas Raider.
Hello?
Hey, Trey, John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You want to be a Raider?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, hey, we're really excited to have you. Love your toughness. Love the way you can play multiple positions in the same game. And we're counting on you to come here and just work your ass off, man, and come make our offensive line a lot better and our team. Sound good?
Yes, sir. I can't wait.
Hello? Hey, Jermad.
So how you doing?
This is John Spytek. I'm the GM in Las Vegas. How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, you're going to be a Raider, and I know it's been a hard couple of weeks and probably a really hard 2 days, but we are thrilled to welcome you here. We've got a great program. We've got a great plan for you, and we're going to take great care of you, and you're going to be a great player for us for a long time. Okay, believe that.
I appreciate you.
Hello? Hey, Mike, John Spytek with the Las Vegas Raiders. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, yourself?
Good. You want to be a Raider?
I do. Come on, let's do it.
All right. Well, you're in. You're on the dark side.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
We got a great
Come on.
We got a great plan for you. We got a great scheme fit. Coach Kubiak is the most fired up person in the building right now, and
Yes, sir.
we're thrilled to get you here. We need
Yes,
your
sir.
best. We need you to be a great teammate, bud. Welcome to Las Vegas.
Hello?
Hey, Dalton, John Spytek in Las Vegas. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you?
You want to come play with your own teammates, Dukes, in Las Vegas?
Coach, you know I do.
I know you
I
do.
do.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be the start of a great journey.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right, I know you are.
Hello?
Hey, Zeke.
Yes, sir.
This is John Spytek with the Las Vegas Raiders. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, Coach.
You want to come to Las Vegas, be a Raider?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, I love it. Love it. We'll bring those ball skills and that ball hawking production. We need some of that here, okay?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Hey, Zeke. Coach Kubiak here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. Congratulations. Welcome to the team, man.
Appreciate you, Coach. Boy, you won't regret it. Appreciate you, Coach.
We're excited to have you, man. We need guys that can cover and take the ball away. Are you that guy?
Yes, sir. I'm that guy. Yes, sir. 100%.
Billy, this is John Spytek. I'm the GM in Las Vegas. How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. You want to get on a team and be a Raider?
Hell yeah.
Let's go. We need speed.
Man, let's do it, man. I can't wait.
All right, love it. Well, we need you to be here, and we need you to be fast. We need you to be a great teammate, work hard. Congratulations. We're thrilled to welcome you to Las Vegas, man. You're going to be a big staple of what we do here, okay? We got to bring your best.
Man, I can't wait, man. We're going to go crazy. Let's go, man.
Wait, do you guys want to do karate in the locker room?
Yup. Y'all don't want it. Nah. Y'all don't want it. Nah. Y'all don't want it.
We're here at Lee's Family Forum for the annual induction of the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame, and a lot of big names on here, but probably none bigger for Raider fans than Raiders owner Mark Davis joining this class of 2026.
To come here to Las Vegas and to have Allegiant Stadium and to build such a great facility, and then to have the practice facility here, and what he's done with the Aces to take over the team from MGM and to win 3 championships and to have it going from nobody caring to everybody clamoring to get in.
I'm honored and humbled to be inducted in the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame. I don't know if you got the right Davis here, though. It might have been Al that should be here tonight. 62 years ago, he brought the Raiders to Las Vegas to play in the first professional football game in Nevada. It really does mean a lot to me. We've been able to create in Las Vegas through partnership and community and everybody working together. To bring the Raiders here, timing was just what happened. There's just so many people that played a role into where we are today. I'm just so proud of everybody. 3 championships later, the Las Vegas Aces are making Las Vegas proud. Everything that's happening with the Raiders, the Aces, with me is not about me, it's about we. You guys have made Las Vegas the sports capital of the world. You guys have made it possible.
Raiders owner Mark Davis called this a full circle moment for him, and not only because he used to come here as a young man with his parents, but also because he's joining a fraternity of Hall of Famers that includes the very first Hall of Famer in the Southern Nevada Sports Hall of Fame, David Humm. He called him the original Las Vegas Raider.
Wearing the silver and black is a privilege meant for a few, sought out by many.
The best team in the world, simple as that.
You win here, it's special.
But what is it about the Raiders exactly? Is it the shield, a symbol of greatness, influence, unchanging, forever instilling a commitment to excellence?
The Raiders introduced Klint Kubiak as their new head coach this morning.
The colors, the silver and black.
This is no ordinary job. This is the silver and black.
Timeless in every way.
Shoot, what's up, Mr. Ray? How you doing?
Whatever it may be, like us or not, we don't care. Allow us to remind you, there's 31 other teams. Then there's us.
This is basically the greatest offseason for a single team in NFL history.
It's a new dawn.
It's such an iconic logo.
New challenges, same goal.
There's a lot of hope this is the catalyst.
The pursuit of greatness continues.
And welcome to the dark side.
Welcome back. Looking inside the Intermountain Health Performance Center, Amber Theoharis along with James Jones and Eric Allen as we are here covering Raiders Media Day 2026. We've had so many of the Raiders stars come across the set. We just talked to Maxx Crosby. We've had Fernando Mendoza still to come. Ashton Jeanty is coming up. We're also going to talk to Kirk Cousins, Jack Bech. So the party's not over just yet. We're on for several more hours, staying with you live until 1 o'clock Pacific. But we keep going back to the run game. And not only is it a trend in the NFL that we're seeing more run-based offenses having success, not only in the Super Bowl where you had somebody like Kenneth Walker, but in other areas as well. You're starting to see running backs taken high up in the draft like this year as well. So having Ashton Jeanty, I think a lot of people overlook. This team is built in an interesting way because of the regime changes and the GM changes. You brought a lot of position guys in, and they're in place before, you know, the quarterback came in, before some of the trenches were filled out. But you did have a first-round tight end and a first-round running back in the last 2 years come to this team. So Ashton Jeanty was one of them, and it just felt like, as exciting as it was to have him come into this team, that the potential just we didn't get to see. We knew it, but we didn't get to see it. So what did you like specifically, JJ, about Jeanty the first time that you saw him in, and based on what you saw last year?
Well, to be honest with you, he made something out of nothing. I mean, to look back from what we've seen, because all three of us used to watch the games and yell at the TVs together, right? And the main thing we used to say is he just can't get going. And to look back now and to say he was 25 yards away from 1,000 yards, that shows that the young fella can make something out of nothing. So if you give him a little bit of daylight, who knows what he's going to do. And we've seen when he did have daylight, one person's not bringing him down. He has the home run speed. So I'm just excited with this offensive line to really just him be able to see the holes, get going downhill, and not be getting hit in the backfield, and see him get going. Because I think if he gets going, he could be one of those backs that can make those dudes miss.
Yeah, I think it's a little more difficult to be a productive running football team from a coach's standpoint, because there's so many things that have to work right? Your line, everyone has to on the line have to be correct. You can't miss any blocking assignments, obviously. If you get to the second level, your receivers have to do a great job of, getting their hands on a safety or a linebacker or a corner. And then obviously the running back has to make sure he's making the right read, make the right cut, and finishing. All those things have to work to have a good running play consistently over and over. And when you're getting these alignments as a defense, hey, this is a running down. I'm going to put 8 in the box. I'm going to bring my strong safety down late. So many things have to go right for you to be a successful running football team, and it demands that the coaching staff early on has to really develop chemistry with the offensive line, the running game, the running back, the coaches, those things. So it's going to be difficult to have a consistent running game over and over.
And you have to ask the question, is having a consistent running game involve 2 backs? Because the successful offenses that we've seen kind of had that 1-2 punch. And last year, would Kenneth Walker have had the year he had in Seattle without Zach Charbonnet emerging early on? You can look back to the Eagles 2 years ago. I mean, Jalen Hurts is the other running back, to put up a number of yards. So we have Mike Washington on the roster here, the young guy. How do you think he'll be used, JJ, I'll ask you, how do you think he'll be used along with Ashton Jeanty to be effective?
Well, I would hope it's going to be used like last year, what we seen in Seattle. It was like I said, it was a 2-headed monster coming downhill at you. We're not going to ask too much of the quarterback. They didn't ask too much of Sam Darnold. We're going to run the air out of the football, and we're going to run it consistently. I think that's another thing with us, too. We picked and choose when we was going to run it. What type of offense we going to be? So we got to run it consistently. But a 2-back backfield, that's what he did last year. So I think to help the young quarterback out, you get 2 running backs to come downhill to run the football, and then that's going to give you the ability to play action pass just like they did in Seattle last year, and hopefully our receivers cash in on it. But you don't want to run Ashton Jeanty in the ground.
Right.
You want him to be fresh. So now if we got to give you 10 or 15 carries in the fourth quarter, you're ready for that. You ain't worn down from the whole game. So you need that 2-back to kind of keep your number 1 back fresh.
Yeah.
All right, to talk more about it, let's bring in the voice of Raider Nation. You can catch him calling all the Raiders games on Raider Nation Radio. It is Raiders play-by-play man, Jason Horowitz.
Jay.
There, Jason. I don't know how many entrances like this he's had to do in his life, but man, he looks like he's been there before. He looks like he has been there before. Hey, what's up?
I see.
He's even got his building pass on still. We're going to have access. We got access everywhere. How you doing, Jason?
I didn't get the memo that was Wear White Day.
You know what?
Nobody told me.
Me either, but it just got cold in here.
The jacket started coming out.
I was actually hoping that I could run out with Ashton, and then he could just lift me up the whole way.
Yeah, he could just hold you.
I like the run. I like the jog. What's going on?
I love the energy.
I just met Mike Washington Jr. He is big dude.
Yeah.
That is a big dude.
How do you think, we were just talking about it, how do you think he's going to be used? How do you see him fitting into the offense?
Well, I mean, you guys were talking about whether or not this is going to be a 2-back system or how it might be. I mean, I think it can work either way, right? I mean, Christian McCaffrey was on the field for like 88% of the snaps last year in San Francisco, and Ashton was on the field for almost 80% of the snaps last year. So it can work. I think in a perfect scenario, though, you have 2 guys who get not equal, but a solid amount. Both are productive, and then away you go.
Yeah. How important, because I love your aspect and how you look at the game. How important?
You mean for my 6th grade right guard position at West Hills Middle School?
That's right.
You didn't know that.
It's done you well.
We scored 1 touchdown, EA, in 6th grade. 1 touchdown the whole season.
I bet that was it was a banger, though.
Yeah, Abed Reyes was our running back, a 65-yard touchdown run, the only touchdown we scored. 1 touchdown? 1 touchdown all season.
You're working with the silver and black.
Well,
1 touchdown.
Well, I wasn't announcing the games. I probably should have. You know what? I probably should have been announcing the games
from the right guard position.
We didn't have broadcast of middle school football in Michigan. I don't know.
How many games y'all play?
6 or 7.
Oh,
yeah, 1 touchdown.
1 touchdown.
Take what you can get.
We gave up a lot of touchdowns.
Let's call the coach out. Who was the coach?
Josh Cutler.
Yeah, Josh
Cutler.
Come on, Josh.
His mom was my 4th grade teacher at Lone Pine Elementary School back in the day. Yeah.
So Josh is not getting ready for a training camp
right there.
with any other team.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we're going to see more touchdowns from the Raiders this year than middle school in New Jersey or in Michigan or wherever you went to middle school. So, Jason, as you kind of, sitting back, we all try to take a minute after the season, but we watch as this information's coming in, and we're sitting by ourselves at the time. Usually when we don't have immediate reaction. If I asked your wife or asked your family, like, what did Jason do when he started to hear, these names of free agents that are coming in, and what was he doing during what was your reaction as this roster just completely took new shape?
Yeah, I think it was very specific, right? Go get impact front seven players on the defensive side of the ball. Go get the most important offensive line player you can go get, and then fill out from there, right? It wasn't necessarily skill-based. It wasn't anything like that. It was go get the folks in the middle of the field, the offensive line and the front seven, to completely change this team. And I think the other part too, and I mean, you played in Green Bay, you guys played on winning teams. Like, it's important to have guys who have experienced winning in the NFL, right? Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, those guys have played in big games. Tyler Linderbaum, they played in big games in the NFL, playoffs, the whole thing. And I think that's important because you want that here, right? We want Allegiant Stadium to be hosting playoff games, and these are the guys to go help make that happen.
Yeah. When you were watching games and analyzing games, the one area that we talk about all the time, right, is about offensive line and how it was obvious that through injury or poor play that this football team never really could, build a foundation with the offensive line. Do you think that has been a drastic change for this football team, and how do you think it'll fare on Sundays when it really counts?
Well, I hope so. I mean, Colton gets hurt week 4. Right? Colton Miller goes out week 4 last year and never able to come back. And if you remember week 4 against Chicago, Ashton ran for like 600 yards.
And we were like, okay.
And he finally broke off that long touchdown run we were waiting for. And that happens, and then Colton gets hurt, and then it kind of changed the rest of the season because it was almost like a buildup. Okay, here, maybe this is what it could be, and then you never really got to see it again. So I think the focal point has to be the offensive line, because it was a struggle. I mean, it's not saying anything that anyone doesn't know. It's been a struggle for a couple of years, right? The offensive line has struggled. The running game has been dead last in the league each of the last 2 years, and that obviously is the expected change here for this team.
It's a lot of key pieces that have come into the building. Obviously, the first overall pick, I keep bragging about Nakobe Dean and my man
Quay
Walker. But you've been on the show a bunch after some tough losses.
Yeah, we're gonna change that this year.
We're gonna change that.
You're the first one on.
I believe in my new contract it says Kirk Morrison comes on after losses. I get to come on.
We're flip-flopping.
I believe that. That's right.
You actually are going to be before the player of the game.
I didn't ask for that.
But you've earned that. You've earned that. All right, we're gonna get you what you earned in the contract.
Once.
Calling the games and watching the games in depth. What are you what position group, or what are you most excited about, coming into this season to really?
The front seven. Yeah, the front seven on the defense side of the ball. Just in terms of how different it's going to be, right? So, and particularly behind the defensive line, because, Kwity Paye and Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean and having Maxx, and, it's just going to seem drastically different. And I realize how different the guys were last year, too. They were all new, too. Devin White and Landon Roberts and Jermaine Pratt early when we were sitting here this time last year. It was all new as well.
These dudes, though.
But none of that, right? So those were all 1 year. Let's see what happens. This is all totally different, right? These are all totally different players, and so I'm excited to see that.
Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah. Oh, him too. Yeah, him too. He sang or wished my 5-year-old a happy birthday today.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
How great
awesome.
was that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, her birthday's tomorrow, but he did that today.
Well, happy birthday to your daughter.
Yeah.
I've been saying since day one, I have no inside information on this. You just look at the rest of the NFL.
Yeah.
Start them the first game. I mean, unless you see you have an offensive line that's going to be awful, or you see an alarming red flag, every other first #1 overall pick in the last 5, 6, 10 years has started week 1. I mean, even Drake May started week 2 or 3 or something like that in his first year. I don't know. Did you think because Kirk Cousins was signed that created a narrative that's kind of different from the trend that we've seen in the NFL? It just automatically forced people to interpret it a certain way.
I think it started before that, though, Amber, because if you go back to the combine when Klint Kubiak and staff were talking about our preference is to have a veteran, start a veteran, and let a rookie learn. Like they stated that 2 or 3 weeks before free agency, 6 or 7 weeks before the draft. And so once you start with that, now maybe they were putting that out there because they didn't know what was going to happen, or maybe they said that's really what they believed. And if that's what they want to do, then you go sign Kirk Cousins, then you draft Fernando Mendoza. It allows you to live up to what you stated early. But I think it can work either way. I mean, everyone's going to go to Patrick Mahomes, and like that's the gold standard of sitting a year, right, and see what could happen. And
he also wasn't the #1 overall pick either. He was the first-round pick.
No, he wasn't. But you know, we go back 8 years. I'm sure that everyone else would have liked to take him #1.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it can work either way. And hopefully for this team it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only concerns with that is, let's say Kirk plays well.
Yeah.
Let's say he's playing well, and you started him. When do you take him out?
Well, you don't have to.
So we're going to be sitting here next year at media day, and our first rounder ain't played a real game. That to me sounds crazy. As an organization. That to me sounds crazy because now we just wasted a year of you playing football games to develop you.
But
you've come from an organization that was famous for doing that
multiple times.
We talking about MVPs in front of them people.
And don't you think Aaron Rodgers could have come in his first year and started? Do you feel like he had just because Brett Favre was there?
It's all
Brett Favre's not here.
I understand the #1 pick. I understand that expect to play. It's about winning. Like if the quarterback you're playing is winning,
you can't change that. You're not going to take
stadium
him
is
out.
packed.
Yeah, you can't.
And we're in situations where we're playing for playoff berths.
Well, what I'm saying is, as an organization, I feel like if you don't see what the young fella got, even if you're winning, that ain't helping us move forward. Aaron Rodgers was coming off of an MVP season. They were just the Packers drafted a quarterback because 12 was getting older. You know what I'm saying? Brett Favre was getting older. So they drafted Aaron Rodgers, and it was blessed to work out like that. But when you have a guy in Kirk Cousins, and I love Kirk, you know what I'm saying? But he's not coming off of an MVP season.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, man, listen, I want to see what our young quarterback can do early and often in the season. If you don't start him, it has to be listen, no matter what, the young fella goes in by week 4. But it has to be. We got to see what he has.
But these are for an organization that has not won a playoff game since Eric Allen was playing, and an organization that has only been to the playoffs twice in 24 years. These are good problems to have. You're asking that question. What if Kirk is playing well
and
when you see
8-1.
That is a
what
good
if they're
question.
Daniel
That
Jones
is a good problem to have.
in the Colts.
Well, I guess I don't see why that's a bad problem to have. That's a good problem.
That's a bad problem for me. We're winning, but we have not seen what our future can do. And we can't waste a whole year, and then his first game is next year, real live game. And let's say we let Kurt walk and we just went and won a playoff game, and the young fella struggled. We don't know. We have to see. He's the number.
You never liked The Price is Right, did you? What's behind door number 2? But I might like door number 3 better.
If I already see what's behind the door, I don't even see no other doors.
I think you just have to look at trends within the NFL, right? And if you look around, do you think that Bryce Young, who probably had one of the rockier starts his rookie year, he got benched. And now look at him, he's balling, right? Like at the end of last year, playing very well, gets a team to the playoffs. Is he better because he took those lumps?
Maybe.
Do you think he'd be where he is if they had sat him for a year? They didn't have really the option. Look at a C.J. Stroud a couple of years ago, who was the second pick, right? He starts right away, gets his team to the playoffs in the first year. You could go down to Bo Nix was pick 11. He wasn't, and he comes out, and I know he was in a quarterback battle at first. But in year 2, there he is going to the playoffs.
But we're talking pick 11s and all.
That's what I'm.
See,
that
doesn't. To me, that doesn't matter.
Oh, that matters.
No. I know it matters in the grand scheme of where you were drafted and the history of the draft and an organization, and the Raiders have only had the number 1 pick. I know that. But in the grand scheme of success and your plan, I don't think it should matter whether it's 1, 5, 9, or 12.
Let's say, because let's say that Caleb Williams had a Kirk Cousins in front of him his rookie year.
Okay.
Did we all
Great
see?
example.
Did we all see how he struggled?
Yes.
So let's say this past year was his first game starting.
Yeah.
And he had to go through, like, to me, we wasted a year.
But what's to say that? So I think you could say that the struggles help the success. But what's to also say that you can't have success without the struggle? And the reality is we're not going to ever know. So these are just all the what ifs that we're going to play. But whether it works or it doesn't, we're never going to know.
It's a fascinating conversation because if you ask 10 analysts, 10 different people in football are going to have a different opinion, and everybody can find something in history that supports their opinion. If you're hey, you need to sit, then you're a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers kind of guy, you know. But if you're like, hey, throw him out there, you're like Caleb Williams and
but there's
Bryce
also
Young.
for all of the names you guys are throwing out there for the success that they had after struggle, there are just as many names in the recent last 30 or 40 years who have had struggle after the struggle.
That's true.
Right? Yeah. Like Derek Carr was here. David Carr struggled with the organization that was just starting and never got through. Joey Harrington, and you can go way beyond that, right? So,
but David Carr literally got his head knocked off.
No, I know that.
And had no offensive line. So that's why I say if you come out to camp and you go, our offensive line does not look the way we want it to, that's, I think, you reserve the right to change your mind. Bill Parcells says, right? I reserve the right to change my mind.
And those are the things that I think are critical in making your decision.
Yes, you have to factor
first
in
of all,
things.
Offensive line, and if you're winning. You know, I think those are two.
Y'all listening to y'all coworker?
I'm on your side. I believe in playing them. I believe in playing them.
Like I say, listen to me. I love Kurt. Kurt's a hell of a teammate. Kurt made a lot of money in this league. Kurt played some football at a high level. 90% of these starters that went out there first is because they had guys like Kirk Cousins in front of them. Whether you're falling off and you're not that same dude and the rookie is going to play.
Yeah.
The conversations that we're having is Hall of Famer Brett Favre, who was playing at a high level, and Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers, who was playing at a high level, and a really good quarterback in Drew Bledsoe.
But
quarterbacks that are
Alex Smith was in front of Patrick Mahomes, and Alex Smith was a really good player. But I would think you could say Alex Smith and Kirk Cousins have had similar NFL careers.
Well, Alex was winning though.
But
Alex was winning.
But in JJ's scenario, so is Kirk.
Yeah.
So and they're very similar careers, and I know Alex was the number one pick. But
if Patty was the number one overall pick, Andy Reid still taking that same approach with Alex Smith?
I don't know. Ask him. You probably have more access to Andy Reid than I do. I mean, he's the Hall of Famer. You can dial. Why don't you dial up Andy Reid? Let's call him right now.
About to, actually.
Like Andy, had Alex Smith not been there, would you have started Patrick Mahomes in 2018?
Why don't you call Alex Smith? You probably have his number too. Hey, was Andy going to start you if they took someone number one?
I think one of the most challenging jobs of John Spytek and Klint Kubiak of this season is going to be where do you insert him, right? So if you don't think that the day they got the schedule, they didn't look for multiple scenarios of insertion.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if we're winning, you know, in the beginning of the season, we'll leave them in, and then the bye week, I think, definitely affects their decision.
Week 13,
the fact that they
14,
have a Week 13 bye week. So what if it's a Colts situation, right? Like Daniel Jones comes in, they go 8-1, everybody's excited, you're going to roll with them. You know, then things happen. He gets hurt or things kind of die off. It's actually maybe advantageous in that situation to have a Week 13 bye, because that's a great place to be like, all right, we went with the winning, we're not winning anymore. Let's put them in. Hey, if they're 10-1 or 10-2. Then obviously you're going to keep in the veteran.
You're right.
You know, if you're going into December. So people don't like where there's a schedule looking at it right now on the screen. People didn't love having a Week 13 bye because they thought like, oh, you could put Kirk Cousins in October 1st if they have a Week 4 bye. But I actually think this is kind of interesting depending on how the Raiders start out.
But so when you're looking at that schedule right now, right?
Yeah.
Dolphins, sorry.
So Patriots, Super Bowl last year, great defense. Bills are here, right? But Rams with that defense at the Jets, okay, fine.
There's no break.
At the ninth,
but
that's my
Week
point.
8,
so where is
Week
that?
3.
I don't think you can make that plan. I don't think. Again, this is just me. This is not talking to Klint Kubiak or John Spytek. I don't think they're looking at that schedule and saying, we're going to put him in here. Because that's saying that we think the season's going to be this.
Yeah.
And they don't know what the season's
Or that there's an easy game.
You see that week?
Not an
You
easy
see
game.
that Week 1?
Yeah.
They're going to be awful.
No, yeah, I get that.
They're going to be awful.
But you're talking about where
Week
you're inserting
2,
him beyond that.
Average, solid defense division game will be our Week 3. They're going to be awful.
Yeah, they will.
So what we waiting on? Week 4, you might not. You're going to be playing with not against Patrick Mahomes.
We don't.
possibly.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, based on the
JJ.
fact that the Chiefs have like 2 or 3 primetime games in the first 5 weeks, I'm going to guess the NFL thinks that Patrick.
They are not. They are not finna rush that kid back.
But I'm kind of with JJ on that. If you look at it hypothetically, because there is no easy part of that schedule, because
of course
it just
not.
never turns out the way that you think.
Never
it
does.
But if you were to, based
Y'all
on what you know right now, with the information you have, the easiest part of the schedule is the first quarter. If
Yeah.
you, based on last year's performances, who may or may not be injured, whether Patrick Mahomes is going to be 100%, Dolphins aren't expected to be good. I wouldn't sleep on the Saints, but I think the Saints are going to be a team that kind of emerges in that division later in the season in the NFC South. But they have a lot of great young players.
Yeah.
Getting another young receiver in Jordan Tyson. So I think that first quarter, if you were going to argue a place to start, it's actually the first quarter.
And this is another thing, though, really quick, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
What I was talking to EA about, I think last time we were here. The vets are going to have to play a lot in in preseason.
Yes.
Because you're not putting Mendoza out there with the twos and the second offensive line. So these veteran players and the starters, they're going to have to play in preseason. So let's say Kirk Cousins plays the first 2 series because the second quarter is probably going to be Mendoza's quarter. If he's checking all these boxes with the ones, and what are we doing?
Well, but is he checking all the boxes with the ones against the 2s and 3s? But
that doesn't matter.
To your point,
I'm just talking about.
No, I understand. But to your point, we were all there in Minnesota 2 years ago. It was our first preseason game of the 24 season. J.J. McCarthy, right, was their backup quarterback because Sam Darnold, he comes out there with the 2s, and he never plays again the rest of the year because he gets hurt in that first preseason game, right? You never know what's going to happen. They weren't planning. Like, I don't know what their plan was going to be. I don't know who was going to be their starting quarterback. And again, he wasn't number 1, but he was top 10. I don't know what it was. But you never saw him the rest of the year.
Right.
And that certainly wasn't their plan.
Well, their plan wasn't for him to get hurt.
Sure. Yeah. In that scenario, did they have maybe the best receiver?
But I guess my point. But I guess my point is Sam Darnold. They weren't expecting to go 14-3.
Right.
And he goes 14-3, and now he's a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
I don't know what Kirk Cousins or Fernando Mendoza is going to be. But my point is, all the what ifs have negative scenarios to why you're going to go put Fernando in unless you're starting him week 1.
But you just helped me out.
Yeah.
Because let's say.
But we're starting him week 1. That's
No.
I'm good either way. Now we're back to where we were.
Let's stay in that same situation.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you had because y'all saying, what if Kurt do good? So Kurt does good. We got to let him walk, right? And then look how the rookie looked.
That's
you understand what I'm saying? Now look how J.J. McCarthy looked. Now we're set back, and now we're saying, we're going to get Kyler Murray, and we're doing all this. Not saying the Raiders are going to go do that because they're going to believe in the young player, but we ain't seen him play all that year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and we seen Sam Darnold play, and then we got to let him walk because we drafted this dude. And now we come in here, and his first game is in year 2, and he's not as good as we thought he was. And then now the organization is set back. And let's say Kyler goes out here is not as good. Now you set back even more.
Well, I don't think you can compare Fernando and Minnesota's quarterback from just eyes
I'm talking
of
about
college.
the situation. I'm just talking situation.
Yeah, the situation definitely could be the same, but if you have a player who's markedly better, my eyes seeing JJ and my eyes seeing Fernando in college, same competition, Fernando's much better.
We just said
J.J. McCarthy was never even asked to throw the ball.
And so that's what I'm saying. He's a totally different player.
I know, but I'm just saying situation because he's going to go through them ups and downs as a rookie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why are we prolonging it?
When he gets on the football field, he's going to be better than JJ because he's a better football player.
No question. And I agree with that. But what I'm saying is why prolong it a year?
So in your best scenario, you're starting week 1.
Yes.
That's your best scenario.
Yes.
Right now. Green 18.
Because ultimately, that's the best for the if you feel that you can win week 1 and he's your best option, if they feel that after what they have seen, that is the best case scenario. That is the best case scenario because you want your number 1 overall pick, who you know is supposed to be the future of your franchise, to win the competition. Right now, if you're like, hey, John and Klint, like, which one would you rather have win the competition? They're trying to win games. So they're going to pick the one who really won.
Yeah.
But if in a world of building rosters and assets and investments, you want your number 1 overall pick to win the competition. That's the best case scenario.
100%. 100%.
So if that happens, so going back to the original crux of this conversation was just because Kirk is here.
I thought the original crux of the conversation was how are we going to run the football? And by the way, if that's the case, neither of those guys are running the football, so it doesn't matter.
Please don't run the ball.
The whole point was just because Kirk is here and just because Spytek had said earlier and Klint had said, ultimately, we would like, we're cool with that. Like, we're fine sitting him. We're in a great position to have somebody like Kirk Cousins. It doesn't mean that they're planning on starting him. It doesn't mean that the competition's not wide open and that we very easily could see Fernando Mendoza.
There's so much that we can see. And the other part, going back to the schedule, every year, teams you think are going to be great stink.
Yeah.
And teams that you think are going to stink make the playoffs.
Always.
Patriots, Jaguars,
but it's a couple teams that I know for facts is going to stink. And it's the Dolphins and it's the Saints.
Let me ask you last year, week one last year.
How long have we been live?
The Patriots. Did you think they'd be in the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I did not think Seattle would be there neither.
So the Saints finished the year 5-1 last year.
But if you would have asked me last year too, JJ, which teams is going to stink, the Saints and the Dolphins would have been in there too. And they stunk.
I disagree. I don't think the Saints.
I don't think the Saints are going to stink. Yeah, I don't think the Saints are going to stink.
I like the young quarterback.
They like the young quarterback.
I like the receiver Jordan Tyson. I like Chris Olave. I think they got something to build, and they're not. And they're in a division.
They're going to be at the bottom with the Dolphins. And our quarterback has a chance to play.
Are we betting on that?
I was going to say, this is Vegas. There's got to be a sponsor.
What's up? 'Cause I got some bets.
Because all of us think 3 different things, right? Or 4
It's all about the offensive line.
Y'all roll with me.
That's what that's
all about the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean,
but don't want him to have bad habits and get banged.
It's all about him to me if he's processing it all. If he's showing you in preseason he's processing it all, we know for a fact we're going to have the ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have the bumps and the bruises. We know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if he's showing you that, hey, man, I'm processing it all, I'm good, I got it under control.
You know what my favorite part of all of this is, though? The excitement level of the possibility, no matter which quarterback it is there. Because you have are they playing well? So do we keep him on is he playing well? Or are they not? There's so much.
Good situations.
There is so much there, which is positive either way.
All right, Jason Horowitz. Thanks for
stopping
by.
I saw him. I know. I saw.
We appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much for coming.
I know.
All right, how about this? Whether you're Mendoza or Kirk Cousins, you ready to hand off the mic? You can stay in here and you can hand off the mic. That's going to be your position. All right.
Remember, I was the right guard. I got this.
That's right. You got this. All right, coming up next right now, we got Ashton Jeanty backstage. He is coming on the set. Number 2 in his 2nd year in the NFL. There he is.
Hey.
That man can run the football. Jason Horowitz, here, take the handoff. Take the handoff there.
There you go.
Ashton, welcome back. It is good
What's
to
up,
see
my
you.
man? What's up, vet?
Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, you the vet now.
The veteran, the old wily veteran. Whew.
Awesome, man.
I'm tired from that Jason Horowitz conversation. Man. Talking about who's going to be quarterback. We know who's going to be running back. Okay, at least we know that. And Ashton, I think what's so impressive about what you did in your first year was it was a tough year. And oftentimes the Raiders were behind. And you don't run the football a lot when you're behind. And still, knowing all these facts that we know, injuries to the offensive line, you were 25 yards short of a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah.
What did you take away from that season about, as JJ said, making something out of nothing often?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough year for us as a team, but I think just continuing my process and, trying to be great, trying to lead, trying to make everybody better around me. And, it wasn't perfect all the time, but you got to make something shake with what you got.
Yeah. How did you come out of those games when you didn't do what you wanted to do, and what kept you kind of focused on the next week and making sure, you were the kind of guy who the team could kind of count on?
Yeah, I think it was just about getting better each and every single week, no matter the results. whether it was the way I wanted it to be or not. But, I mean, I came out a lot of games frustrated, and not because maybe I didn't have enough room or anything, but because of my performance and if I played up to my standard or not.
So go ahead and tell me the play that lives in your head that you like, if I broke that tackle, I got my 1,000. Because I know after the season, everybody be like, man, you had a good season. I'm like, man, if I make them 2 plays, I got 3 more touchdowns.
Hey.
So tell me the play.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. It was
You go right to it.
It was the first time we played the Broncos. We was running mid-zone. I had the cut back, but I didn't cut it back. You know, I stayed on my track. If I would have cut it back, then I might have hit my head on the goalpost.
You'd have housed it, huh?
I know we always remember them plays. If I just did this, I would have had my 1,000.
Obviously, the offensive line is a big part of what you are and aren't able to do. Take us through how, like, you know, the zone run block scheme, it can really – we were talking to Kirk about it, Kirk Cousins. He was like, a lot of running backs have a lot of success in it if it's run properly. Take us through that specific blocking scheme and how it can help you.
Yeah, I mean, it's great because you get the linebackers, you get the D-line running all game, you wear them down, and then, you know, then you can come back later, run inside zone and really gash them and run gap schemes. So obviously last year it was more of a mid-zone, so, you know, we're going a little bit more on a wider zone this year, so super excited, and I've seen all the success, whether it's Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, so obviously Kenneth Walker last year, so super excited for my opportunity to be successful.
What did you do in the off season to kind of get away before you came back?
Yeah, I took a little trip to Hawaii.
Look at
snorkeling with the turtles and stuff.
There you go.
You see no sharks out there, though?
Nah, no sharks.
No
man.
sharks.
I ain't with none of that. But I had a good time, and then just spending time with family. You know, relax, reset. You know, so it's been really good. You know, to refresh, and then now it's time to get back to work.
Yeah.
So last year, Coach Kubiak, they had a little 2-back system.
Right.
We were up here with Hall of Famer, his 619 brother Marcus Allen.
Hey,
Marcus Allen
that's the
said,
man.
I don't want to hear no 2-back system.
He wants to get every carry.
So just talk to us a little bit about that. You kind of embracing the 2-back system, or you like, hey, Coach, I got it until I kind of pat my helmet and let you know I'm ready to come out of there.
Look, as who I am, obviously I want to be in the game every snap, but I think it is beneficial to have another guy that can come in and continue to wear the defense down and play at a high level. So super excited, to team up with Mike, and he's been doing a great job, putting his head down and working. But, of course, naturally, you don't want the rock, you know what I'm saying?
It's 18 weeks, though.
It is. It's a long season. Exactly.
Even Batman had Robin. So, you know what? It's okay. It's how we.
Hey, it's still, hey, Robin, hey.
Hey, Robin. There's a reason you're smaller than me, bro.
Right. It's Monday Night Football
That's
right there. It's like, everybody watching, dog.
Everybody watching. Yeah, I don't need a breather now. Ashton, we appreciate you coming on the set. We can't wait to see. We know you're going to hit that 1,000 and even more this year. So thanks for being here with us.
Appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. Appreciate you, man.
We're going to take a break here on Raiders Media Day, and when we come back, much more to come. We're going to talk about some of the second-year wide receivers who could emerge. That's coming up next. So he said I don't need a break, but maybe just when I want it. Maybe just when I want it.
Jermod McCoy. Now, Raider Nation,
This tape and these highlights are from 2024 season. He missed the 2025 season because of the ACL. But I tell you what, man, when I start to look at this young man, I'm really, really excited. This here, I mean, man on man, right? Against one of the best receivers in college football. Look at that, just toys with him in the end zone, gets his head around in perfect timing. Hand-eye coordination and ball skills are there. One-on-one just shows you how much confidence this team has. Just a big-time playmaker at the corner. And this year, I believe, he ran like a 4.3. So, I mean, that speed is still there. It's all about the confidence. It's all about getting the film study and getting those great reps. And, of course, when you have to have man, you got to have a little bit of zone in there, right? You got to find out the guy has good eyes, understands football. And, yes, got to roll away a little bit, watch the quarterback's eyes. Look at that. Jumping inside of the receiver, understanding the zone concepts, what are critically important because you're not always going to play man-to-man. So again, you let him release inside, you figure out a way to understand like the route recognitions and that receiver's coming backside. And if you're in a great spot, you get an interception. Not all interceptions about just locking down a guy man-to-man. It's about understanding the zone concept and where you need to be in these situations. And I'm telling you, man, this film is exciting. It was clip after clip after clip of this young man getting it done. Here, you're on the outside edge on the field, playing some man-to-man again. And really, that wide split tells you slant. Yes, it's a slant. So you have to be able to kind of understand it in the hand, the eyes, the ball skills to get a tip. Another example how this young man excels in these one-on-one situations, understanding alignments of the receivers and breaking on the ball terrifically using the proper hand every single time. Red zone. Red zone is so critical, so important in the National Football League. This is a big-time game going against Georgia. We have a situation here where, again, you're on that bad side playing man-to-man, and yes, I'm seatbelting them dudes. Look at that. Great job, good patience. Look at the head get around. Man, I mean, that's textbook. That's textbook, that's shadow, that's that sticky defense. Love that fact. And then we're going to end it with, of course, about ball skills. It's about getting your hands on the ball. Obviously, you know, playing in big-time moments here. But look at the head. The head gets around, you tip it. Look at the body control, and you get the pick. Oh, wow. We're going to end it with that. That's just amazing here. Raiders, we may have got a gym in this match, but look at that. Oh, man, the acrobatic, the hand-eye coordination. I think we got one, Raider Nation. That's it this time on Raiders Breakdown.
Today we're doing the RUSH program, and RUSH stands for Raiders UNLV Sport and Health. And the program focuses on middle school girls in Clark County, trying to get them excited and interested in playing flag football for one thing. But we also know that girls in middle school start struggling with things like disordered eating and body image. So we added on the nutrition component, and then we have a mental health component to help girls with things like anxiety and stress. I think that, you know, being involved in sports that has so many positive benefits. Flag football, now girls can get scholarships to play in college. Nevada State has scholarships for girls. And in the Olympics 2028, there's going to be women's flag football. So if we can get our girls excited about playing football.
Wearing the silver and black is a privilege meant for a few, sought out by many.
We're the best team in the world. Simple as that.
You win here, it's special.
But what is it about the Raiders exactly? Is it the shield, a symbol of greatness, influence, unchanging, forever instilling a commitment to excellence?
The Raiders introduced Klint Kubiak as their new head coach this morning.
The colors, the silver and black.
This is no ordinary job. This is the silver and black.
Timeless in every way.
Shoot, what's up, Mr. Brady? How you doing?
Whatever it may be, like us or not, we don't care. allow us to remind you there's 31 other teams. Then there's us.
This is basically the greatest offseason for a single team in NFL history.
It's a new dawn.
It's such an iconic logo.
New challenges, same goal.
There's a lot of hope this is the catalyst.
The pursuit of greatness continues.
And welcome to the dark side.
Welcome back. It is Raiders Media Day 2026, and here inside the Intermountain Health Performance Center, we have Klint Kubiak, the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders in his first season as head coach here in Las Vegas. And Klint, the thing I love about you is you're all football, you're all business. You're like, I don't know about this WWE entrance that everybody else is doing. I'm just gonna sit in the chair. I imagine though the next 4 weeks after OTAs here, do you actually, take a minute? I bet that's hard for you. Do you even know how to not think about football for 1 second?
No, it's important. Yeah, it's important for myself and our staff to get away, and I ask them to not come in the building, because the season's a grind, and it's important they come back fresh and spend time with their families.
Who helped you kind of learn that, to be able to be like, okay, you do need to take at least a week with your family a year?
Yeah, well, I worked for Leslie Frazier in Minnesota, and he had a staff meeting, and he said, I better not see any of you guys in this building for the next month. And he meant it, and I always appreciated that, and he was right. It's a long, hard season, and you got to refresh.
Yeah. So we have, so many, great coaches who have been here for this Raiders organization. Talk to me about like your style of coaching and who kind of influenced you most.
Yeah, well, I think that my style is to be a teacher, and because I don't play, our guys play. So it's important for me to get a staff of teachers that can download information into our guys' brains and then hold them accountable and then have them go have success on Sunday. So. I don't think a whole lot about my style. I just try to be a good teacher and try to hold guys accountable and then put the players in position to be successful on Sunday, because it's all about them. It's got nothing to do with me or our staff. We don't do anything on Sunday, but on Monday through Saturday we have a lot to say to these guys. It's important we put good pictures in their brains, and when they get it wrong, we let them know. When they get it right, we let them know. But we don't walk past mistakes.
I like that.
What made you not put take the decals off the helmets and just kind of put that into the players' minds that that's kind of earned? Because I know in the back of their mind they probably assuming, man, when we take the field, we're gonna have to have the shield on our helmet. But to embrace, and what you got going on here, what was the decision to go through that?
We've put a lot into our meetings this offseason about what it means to be a Raider, and the Raiders that have come before us. We spent a lot of time, learning about the history of the franchise, and I think it's important that the players knew that between themselves and the coaching staff that we're all trying to earn our jobs. And it's just a little bit of a symbol to take that away for the off season, give us something to work toward.
Absolutely.
It's just an extra emphasis on putting the work in and make sure we earn it and do it the right way.
We just sat up here with Jason Horowitz, and between the four of us up here, we've got I'm not kidding, we had got about 230 years of NFL experience between us. None of us could figure out what we would do with the quarterback situation. And that's probably a good position to be in, right? It just seems like if Kirk goes out there, you're in a good position. If Fernando wins it, you're in a good position as well. That would be good news. How are you going to orchestrate the logistics of creating kind of that competition? And as Kirk said, may the best man win, and it starts in training camp.
Yeah, I think we're giving guys a fair share of reps, and I would not count Aiden out. Aiden's had a phenomenal offseason. He's a professional. He's pushing Kirk. He's pushing Fernando. So I think John's, gave us a great group of three guys to work with. Jacob, our fourth guy, our young guy, is doing a great job. So we just got to give them reps and make sure all three of those guys get time with the ones, and it'll reveal itself. But I think if we went and played the game tomorrow, I would take any one of those three quarterbacks. I'm really excited about all three of them.
What has surprised you most about this football team after the draft? And what is something that it's like, man, I didn't expect that?
I think the thing that stands out to me is that these guys are some really impressive veterans on the team. With Maxx, with Colton, Trey Tucker, I think, with Kirk, obviously. But there's guys that have a hunger to win, and they have a great attitude, and they haven't blinked with what we've asked them to do. They're very coachable guys, and they want to win. You can tell they want to win. They're not taking shortcuts. I can't think of very many times at all where we've had to get on a guy for having poor effort. Winning is important to these guys. So, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations, just wanted to get to know them, but I've been very impressed with the mentality of those guys.
I was around Aaron when they drafted Jordan Love, and, obviously we know what kind of career 12 had. But he said once they drafted Jordan Love, even though he was a late first-round pick, that this changes everything because he has to play. You know what I'm saying? Just as an organization, you got to put him out there to play. What's kind of a timetable or what kind of boxes does Mendoza have to check for you to say, okay, the young fella's ready to go? He's checking the boxes that we needed him to check to put him out there in the game.
Well, I think that we're going to find out about that in the preseason when we go play games. You're going to see how he reacts in a game-like environment. And when we go practice against the Texans, we'll get a good feel for it, going against a different opponent than the Raiders.
Yeah.
How he's handling the huddle, how he's handling the line of scrimmage. I think seeing the live in-game or practice versus another opponent will be a big first step.
I know everybody wants to focus on the quarterbacks, but JJ's excited about it, EA is too, and I do think this team could really put itself on the map with its defense, with the veterans that you guys brought in. And it's funny, you being an offensive-minded head coach, I think people always focus on what does the Klint Kubiak offense look like? What is your defensive philosophy like? What was the decision to bring Rob Leonard, to elevate him to a defensive coordinator position? What are you looking for? What's a Klint Kubiak defense?
Well, I think, being around Mike McDonald last year and seeing his scheme work, and then getting in an interview situation with Robbie and hearing him, tell me his vision for the defense and use a lot of those same tenets that were used in Seattle. That was really helpful. But he had a command over direction that he was going that I could see, like, this guy is someone that knows what he wants. He knows exactly how he's going to practice it and how he's going to install it and how he's going to delegate to the coaches. So I just saw a coach with a vision that knew where he wanted to go and implement a style of defense of, that we want to stop the run, that we want to limit explosive passes, and we want to take the ball away. So I think every defense is gonna say a version of that, but it's really important that if you limit explosive plays, you stop the run, you turn the ball over, you're going to have success. And I've seen that style do it in Seattle, and that's a style that I want to bring here.
Yeah. Some of the places you've been and coached, what are some of the identifying markers that you see early on in training camp that says, man, we're going to have a pretty good football team here?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said training camp because you don't know until you put pads on. It's a physical game, and this time of year we can't put pads on. We have helmets. There's so many rules. There's so many plays we're not practicing, styles of plays because of, not wanting to get guys injured or put guys in a rough spot. So we'll know in training camp. We'll know what kind of team we're going to be. And when do you know? I don't think you know until you really start playing games. But as a coach, you can feel how disciplined you are. You can feel if you're making plays in practice against sound defensive looks. So it's more of a feeling. I wish I could give you more than that, but it's a feeling. And then I think really when we go to Houston and we go practice against an elite defense there with D'Amico, we're going to have a really good feel for where we're headed.
Yeah. As a wideout, I still feel like I got a down left in me. I'm always going to tell you that.
You keep saying that every time you're up there.
Just in case, I get my jog on every morning. But talk to us a little bit about the receiver position. They're young. Is it anybody that's kind of like, man, that stood out to you that's kind of, having a good OTAs that you like, hey, man, he could be, a big part of our offense?
Yeah, well, I knew Trey was a good player, but he's done a heck of a job in the offseason. He can just run all day. Jalen Naylor coming from Minnesota has been excellent. I know Brock is not a receiver, but Brock has been he's a tight end, but he does a little bit of both. He's been excellent. And just like the other players, though, you don't really know until you start getting pads on. So I like where we're headed. Some of the young guys, that we drafted, Malik Benson has done a phenomenal job coming in. We have some undrafted guys that have got a lot more reps than normally would for maybe a veteran taking a day here or there. So we got a long way to go. We'll see what happens here come training camp.
Coach Kubiak, we appreciate you being here with us. Thanks for taking a little bit of time. I know you like getting back to football.
Yeah.
I know this is not your favorite spot, so thanks for talking a little football with us.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
it.
it.
We can't wait for training camp.
Yeah,
We're excited.
appreciate you, man.
All right, you don't have to stay here. Will's looking at us. Look at Will.
No, Will's like, hurry up.
Are you going to make him stay there? No. And enjoy your time off as well, Coach. Klint Kubiak, everybody.
Kubiak.
Coach of the Raiders.
I think I picked his dad. I think his dad tried to throw an out route back in the day. I think I picked him off.
You picked off his dad?
Yeah.
Been a question.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break here as we continue Raiders Media Day. Much more to come. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
The Raiders, Intermountain Health, and the Raiders Foundation welcome you to the 3rd annual Silver and Black Gala.
Without the community, without our fans, football isn't fun.
This organization understands something very powerful, that health and strength aren't built only on the field, but in how we show up for one another every day.
Barrett Robbins faced an opponent far more daunting than those who donned helmets and shoulder pads. He will forever be remembered as a proud member of the Raiders.
Tonight, we will be introducing you to 6 more local organizations. Together, these groups serve individuals across a wide spectrum of needs.
It breathes life into the community. It breathes life into the clients that we serve. It's a sign of hope.
Receiving $250,000 is amazing, but receiving it from our partners at the Raiders makes it even more special because they know us, they know our mission, they know our work.
I would like to recognize our gala's presenting sponsor, Intermountain Health. Our partnership is built on a mutual respect and a shared commitment to the health and growth of this region.
I've been saying all evening that these raffle items are legendary and iconic.
This year's Commitment to Excellence Award winner is Jay Glazer. The legend himself, Carl Nassib.
There's one thing I've learned about being an advocate for mental health. It's not about being perfect. It's not about saying the right things all the time. It's just about showing up and reminding people that they really aren't alone.
Because of things like tonight, it makes people like me feel safe to open up, which we didn't really have.
Please have your paddles ready as we begin tonight's live auction.
She's thinking about it. I know she's wanting to. She's already committed. Gotcha there! $100,000! All the money's going right back here to our local community.
Please welcome Sir Elton John.
Raider Nation, I appreciate your time checking in on us here. We're breaking down our newest DB in the 2026 draft, Trayden Stutes. I like the way this guy plays. He's kind of like a joker, middle of the field football player, does an amazing job of being all over the field. Here, he's covering the slot guy. And again, we have to have a versatility to be able to be a great DB in the National Football League. This tells me a couple things here. This tells me that he understands route combinations, comfortable enough to know that he can undercut that deep out route and come up with the big time play. That's what it's about. It's about getting your hands on the ball. Amazing job there of getting the INT on a deep out, playing man-to-man coverage on that slot guy. Now we're gonna see if he can play some zone. And of course, he's on the stretch. He's on the outside edge playing cover 2, so that means he has deep half. You have to kind of sort through this stacked bunch here, and the corner's gonna take that outside route. That safety, you need to expand, and you have to make that play at great range for this young man. Yeah, I know, yes, you made the big time play. That shows you the zone type of concept that he can run, being in cover 2, getting off that hash, and have that great boundary playmaking ability to be able to get his hands on the ball. Love that fact about it. So we're showing you how versatile this young man is. And another step to know that this guy's a preparation guy, study guy. This is a 3-by-1 concept. 3 receivers up top, one receiver down low, so that maybe gives him a clue of this going to be a quick screen. That shows you he's in the film room trying to make big time plays. He has to take that one to the house though. That's going to happen against the Chargers next year. He's going to take that one to the house. Remember, I said it here first. This shows you his versatility and how he's able to dominate football games from the athletic standpoint and a mental standpoint. Now, our next clip here. We're talking about a guy who's all over the football field. Let's run this tape and just see again how explosive he can be. We have to be stout on the running game. Again, the one critique I have is in the National Football League, man, you're going to have to go a little lower. We're going to wrap those legs because the guys up here, they want you to try and go up high. But again, showing you that he makes plays in the backfield. You all know I'm an ASU guy. Sun Devils all the way. This is an amazing play by our new safety. Come off the play action. You got to read it. Look at the ball skills of this guy. He went up top and got it. I mean, yes, it's against my Sun Devils, but that was an amazing play. Just shows you his ball skills. And when the Raiders defensively are great, guys, we all know we have tremendous output in getting interceptions. We're looking for 20 plus this year, and to have a guy in the middle of the football field who can consistently do that is going to raise the level of our defense. That's it this time on Raiders Breakdown.
Welcome back. It is All Thing Raiders here today inside the Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center. Amber Theoharis back with James Jones, the Hall of Famer, Eric Allen, and Kirk Morrison back on the set.
Back.
Kirk. We were in
Wait,
break.
Mark's Allen here? Who else? Who else I'm going to get kicked off for today? No, I'm joking. I'm teasing.
Nah, I don't think there's
What's up?
What up? Off of what they didn't. You like? Your mic wasn't hot.
Ooh, shoot,
Raider Nation.
I'm just saying.
Okay, do you want to do your
No, he
philosophy,
don't.
or are we not doing it?
Well, I mean, just different ways that things can go about. Everybody wants to talk about the big question is Fernando Mendoza. You've seen him walk around here, media days, and going through all the interviews and things like that. And everyone wants to know, when does Fernando Mendoza take the field as a starter for the Raiders? And I think that it's a process. It's a maturation that he will go through. And right now, you have a couple of quarterbacks that are leaders in the clubhouse right now, I believe. Kirk Cousins, Aiden O'Connell, and then there's Fernando Mendoza.
You think he's like? I'm not laughing at the thought. I'm laughing at James's reaction.
No, because my thing is, and I've been saying it for a long time, and I've seen different ways that you can go about this quarterback conversation. And I think people know that training camp will reveal who the starter for the Raiders will be. Training camp will reveal that.
Right.
And so you always have to have contingency plans. So for me, I'm always putting on the board what could be a plan, what could be a plan, what's the value here, what's the value there. But then also, too, is there a rush? Is there no rush? And I bring all that up because what if Kirk Cousins is your starter? Aiden O'Connell is right now currently your backup, and then making Fernando Mendoza at the beginning your emergency number 3 quarterback. And everybody's like, well, how could you do that? Well, because there's a process in the National Football League. And you want to see quarterbacks go through what it takes to be a starting quarterback in this league week in and week out. Everybody's going to bring up Patrick Mahomes. That's fine. But I remember I was around Jared Goff when Jared Goff was the emergency 3rd quarterback, when Case Keenum was the starter, Sean Mannion was the backup, and Jared Goff had to wait 6 games before his opportunity, and he took off and went on. When you make a guy a backup quarterback in this league, you are one concussion protocol play away from going in. If Fernando is your backup going into training or coming out of training camp, something happens to your starter, whether it's a play, 2 plays, a game or 2, once Fernando goes in, he's in. It's hard to take a guy back off the field when he's a rookie. And so that's some of the plans that I think in my mind I foresee for how this quarterback situation may play out. It may not be popular, but I'm always looking at the plans in place, and everything will reveal itself when training camp comes.
You know what I'm realizing? And he doesn't even have his mic up, so
Yeah.
he's not even commenting.
I'm just giving out plans.
But I'm
thoughts.
realizing that nobody knows what the heck is going to happen.
No, not at all.
Because we really
Correct.
don't. And I don't think Klint Kubiak knows what's going to happen. And I do think it's a real open – you need a mic.
That's not going to happen.
The thing is, with training camp will reveal a lot for us.
Yes.
So hold on, though.
Will reveal a lot. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, you can trade this guy, and what about this? I'm saying that we'll have an opportunity to watch everybody go to work. Yeah. And you know this, JJ. It's one thing. No. I'm saying this.
Okay.
The one thing that the people who you can't fool are teammates. Are the guys on that practice field.
Yeah.
We know right away, okay, who's the best guy for the job right now. And so when you're trying to fool them, that's the hardest part, because we watching every single day like, this is a guy, he's ready. Now, if Fernando goes in and takes this job in training camp, we'll know. It'll be easy to say that. But when there's not a clear cut, I think you go with the guy who's had the experience right now.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
I can understand that.
Yeah, if he's not ready.
I think
we saw that a couple years ago with Minshew and
around him.
Yeah.
Offensive line first and foremost.
Correct.
Right? And so if we're going to be a run-oriented football team, during training camp, you have to figure out kind of what this offensive line is going to be able to protect. Right?
Correct.
I think that's the first thing, because you're not just protecting a player, you're protecting the potential franchise quarterback. You do not want him to, yes, I understand you have to go through your bumps and bruises, but you don't want to create bad habits by having a bad offensive line. I think that's the first thing. If the offensive line is legit, then it's really about who's the best player in going through training camp. For me, I think that's kind of
So let me say this, because
go ahead.
My bald head brother down there, he my dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we get up here tripping. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that happens. So how can I say we on Raiders TV? We all seen Kirk Cousins the last couple years, right?
Correct.
Not play good football.
I would say not his best.
Okay.
But another opportunity here amongst the coach that he's been been together with, who's brought the most out of Kirk when they were together.
All I'm saying is, before they get on us, is for you to go into the season and the dude you drafted numero uno overall, the number one draft pick, when Roger Goodell stood up there and said, the draft is starting, his name was next.
We already knew.
Correct. Right.
You mean to tell me that he's going to go into the season as the third quarterback? Like, to be honest with you, that sounds crazy.
We only have a limited amount of time, and we have exhausted the quarterback coverage. We don't know. Like, we just don't know, and everybody has a different philosophy.
I'm just giving you philosophies and possibilities.
And I agree, but I want to talk defense with you.
Yeah.
Because I think when you were on in the first block, we were talking about what this defense is going to look like from a schematic standpoint. For the people that are just joining in now that didn't see it earlier, kind of take us through why it's not necessarily a 3-4. You might be like a 3-4 base, so to speak, but that kind of 5-2 philosophy, and how it can wear out offenses.
I think just because it's so multiple, the versatility that I think defense will have this year. Watching Eric's little breakdown of Trayton Stukes a little bit earlier, he's a guy who's in the back end that you drafted high in the second round to come in and be a guy who I call a wild card, a joker, who can play a corner, who can also play a slot, be down by the line of scrimmage. That also helps out of Jeremy Chinn, who I think is best when he's down near the box, down by the line of scrimmage. And so, to me, you never know how many guys are going to be lurking around the line.
Important.
So you may have 4 defensive linemen. You may have 3 linebackers, 2 linebackers. You never know. The guys are going to be assigned, to me, I think, a gap in area. And so it may look different. You may say, well, why is there 3 guys who are considered defensive ends or outside linebackers out on the field? Well, talking to some of the guys, they say, well, I'm going to line up everywhere. And you just have to know what that assignment is for that particular play. That's going to throw off, I think, a lot of offensive lines, because you're considering, wait, Maxx Crosby's always on the right. Why is he on the left? Why is Malcolm Kuntz in and Kwity Paye in? Okay, Kieran Crawford, where's this young rookie at? Why is he lined up in the 3? He should be in the 5. Like, that's where this defensive line, I think, is going to go. So you're going to see multiple. You're going to see 4-3, 5-2. You're going to see 3-4. And then you may even see some 6-1, which is having 6 guys at the line of scrimmage to cover everything up, and maybe have a Nakobe Dean who's kind of like the free hitter. You know what I mean? Because Quay Walker, you see the size of Quay?
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, Quay, how you an inside linebacker? They make inside linebackers a lot bigger these days. So I'm like, I can't compete with that.
Reverse, because the running game, we've been talking about it all day. Once the running game starts to figure out, hey, you know what? These defenses are playing with a lot of sub packages.
Yes.
We're going to try and pound them.
Correct.
So now defenses, you have to go to a more bigger middle linebacker. We saw a little bit of that in the Super Bowl where Seattle utilized one of their best cover guys in the middle of the football field. And not only was he covering, but he had opportunities to pressure the quarterback all over the football field. And I think we have enough of those players in the middle of the football field to be able to, mug looks, play and plug, those things. So.
I think that's where the league is. You're talking about Nick Emanwari, number 3 for Seattle. He was an outstanding player. It reminds me, a young rookie coming right in. You see him, and also it was something that he matured into. He didn't come in right away. There's a process, and kind of talking about even Fernando, when you talk about the young players, there's a process that you go through, and you learn what it takes to play in the National Football League. You just don't come in week 1 and light the league on fire. It takes a little bit of time, and that's why I'm excited for a lot of these young players who are going to come contribute to this defense.
Yeah.
I mean, when did the last time Raiders drafted that many secondary players? I'm talking about Stooks and Johnson and Massis. You throw in McCoy, the free agency. So you got to, to me, the emphasis is what? Coverage.
Yeah.
Coverage. We got to go out and cover, because I think last year we didn't do enough of that. Shout out to Eric Stokes. I think he's going to get his hands on the ball a little bit more this year. I think last year he was just showing, hey, everybody, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can still play. I can be a vet.
Yeah.
And now he's going to start making some plays.
Really quick, I want to ask you, the defensive players a question. So what's the difference between the three? I know the difference, but the difference between a 4-3 and a 3-4, what's the weaknesses? Because I know if you're in a 3-4, that means you're probably going to have to bring some pressure at times if those 3 ain't getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
So what's the weaknesses if, our base packages is a 3-4?
Better have a good nose tackle.
So for me, the nose tackle is the biggest thing. It's not allowing the center and guard to get to the second level. Right. So if they get to the second level, now our second level guys are not able to play clean and flow like we've seen our guys flow from sideline to sideline. So that's the one thing with me on the running attack. Maybe you can talk about the passing and the 4-3.
Well, I think just it depends on what the look is from the offense. And primarily when you have the 4-3, it was more about when you had the 2-back looks. Now that we have so many single-back looks in the National Football League, you're able to play a version of 3-4, or I call it kind of like a 5-2, where you have 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. One guy's going to be your designated dropper, we always say. So it's either your left end or the right outside linebacker, but somebody's got to drop, in the zone coverage.
Got to be a good cover guy.
So it got to be a good cover guy, and that's why you're seeing a Kwity Paye. You may see Maxx drop just a little bit. Obviously, we want to see him rushing, but you have to show a different picture to these offensive linemen and to these quarterbacks, because they know, okay, the Raiders are going to probably play a zone here. But wait, why is he not in the zone? Why is he blitzing? And you see it now when guys are hovering around the line of scrimmage. You don't know if they're going to drop in the zone or if they're going to blitz. And so that's why you see, I think the Raiders are going to be multiple 4-3, 3-4. And I think sometimes the weakness is just maybe who's on the field, because you don't know. Because now offenses we've seen do what? They run the ball now, they're passing the football, but also the quarterbacks too. And luckily we don't have a lot of quarterbacks in the AFC West that are kind of like a two-way. Like, there's guys who scramble, right? Bo Nix can scramble. Patrick Mahomes likes to extend plays, but there's no Lamar Jackson. There's no Josh Allen. But Justin Herbert and those guys know how to extend plays. And so that's why I think that the Raiders have a good group of guys who can kind of keep them in the pocket and hopefully make them stay there.
Kirk Morrison, we appreciate you stopping by again.
All day.
Oh, it's fun. All day, every day. Catch him on all the Raiders broadcasts this year. Color man for the Raiders Radio.
Boy, Kirk.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. All right, we're going to take a break here on Raiders Media Day Live 2026. When we come back, could he be a star? Jack Bech is going to join us, the former second-round pick for the Raiders. He's up next.
Well, number one, I'm a great believer in that you just don't pick players for the way they play now. You pick players for the way they're going to be 2-3 years down the road after you train them, after you fit them into your system.
Right gets the punt of the day as he narrows it to the 3.
And who else besides Al Davis would draft a punter #1? Never in the history of the National Football League has it been done to a Ray guy.
We draft Gene Upshaw. Here's Upshaw, 6'5", 265, and it's the only player in the history of pro football who played in the Super Bowl in the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
For many years, these Oakland Raiders were a left-handed team, running behind Shell and Upshaw.
1977, we were in the draft. Lester Hayes was from Texas A&M. He had never played cornerback in his life. He'd either been a safety or a linebacker. And when I got him with the Raiders, we moved him to corner right away. Lester had brilliant speed, was big, truly excellent player.
6 seconds left in the half. As Spytek throws long. Logan's going for the ball. Lester Hayes intercepted another one. The man is absolutely phenomenal.
We had drafted some more bright young players. In '82 was the advent of Marcus Allen.
Oakland's first-round selection, running back Marcus Allen of USC.
It's great to be a Raider. It's great to be a Raider.
Crockett giving to Allen, sending him wide left. He has to reverse his field, but he gets away for a moment. Comes back up the middle of 30, 25, 40. Breaks past 2 men at the 50, down to the 40, picking up a blocker. Holy Toledo! Touchdown Raiders! 7-4.
If there was any one player who could play 2 sports, it was Bo Jackson. We had an opportunity to draft him, and we drafted him 7th. Everyone said to me, he'll never give up baseball to play football. And I said, I don't want him to give up baseball. I want him to be the first to be a Raider that played 2 sports and did great in both sports.
And Bo Jackson to the 20 and out in front, and only one man to beat, and easily can't run him down. He had the angle, but there goes Bo, and nobody catches Bo. Touchdown.
We knew that there were great players in the colleges in America, and you just had to know how to get them, how to put them in position to win, and these are the things we did.
Very excited to be here today. We're big fans of the Raiders. JAG focuses on helping young people to achieve their greatest potential. We do that by working with them at high school to make sure they graduate with a set of employment skills and lots of knowledge about careers in college.
And I'm sure that someone else will speak on the internship program here, which I speak on our internship programs like no other. It is just fantastic.
The ambassador program kind of gave me the perfect avenue to discover the community work that we do within the Raiders organization. But I would say, yeah, like just trust the process.
A great opportunity for our students to learn about the opportunities for careers in the sports industry. You know, sports is a growing industry here in Las Vegas, and I'm excited that we can expose our young people to be a part of it.
Backers, safeties, these are their separate team rooms to study additional film, but this is the player entrance. So this is why we are a private facility, because we have someone always coming. We're open 24/7.
Wearing the silver and black is a privilege meant for a few, sought out by many.
We're the best team in the world. Simple as that.
You win here, it's special.
But what is it about the Raiders exactly? Is it the shield, a symbol of greatness, influence, unchanging, forever instilling a commitment to excellence?
The Raiders introduced Klint Kubiak as their new head coach this morning.
The colors, the silver and black.
This is no ordinary job. This is the silver and black.
Timeless in every way.
Shoot, what's up, Mr. Brady? How you doing?
Whatever it may be, like us or not, we don't care. Allow us to remind you, there's 31 other teams. Then there's us.
This is basically the greatest offseason for a single team in NFL history.
It's a new dawn.
It's such an iconic logo.
New challenges, same goal.
There's a lot of hope that this is the catalyst.
The pursuit of greatness continues.
And welcome to the dark side.
Welcome back to Raiders Media Day, live here inside Raiders HQ in the field house, hanging out with James Jones and Eric Allen. It is a little chilly in here because they getting ready, you know.
It was just right.
I'm a little warm now, though, because Kirk got me amped up, man.
Kirk Morrison and you were arguing, but hey, it's a debatable topic, but we're moving on. Jack Bech is coming up.
Jack,
yeah.
right.
Thanks to all you guys who have been with us. This is hour 4 now going on of our live
man,
coverage.
Time flies when you're having fun. Huh?
We are having
right.
fun.
Yeah.
I think this offense, what it looks like is a big question. And I mentioned the Klint Kubiak. You know, we hear people talk about a Klint Kubiak offense. Is that just because we look at what he did in Seattle, or are we taking into account what we think he'll use the personnel in a similar way? Yeah. Or does he have different personnel and kind of has to make some adjustments? So, how do you see this offense kind of looking? What is a Klint Kubiak offense with the Raiders?
I think he's a physical type of coach, right? And we've heard that over and over, which is extremely important when you're talking about what you want for this football team. So first, we've known he has got a great center, so that means the offensive line is extremely important. We understand Ashton Jeanty is a capable football player. He has at Washington, a rookie this year. So I think he's going to be a running type of football coach, right, to kind of get the offensive line, the trenches taken care of and kind of dictate what he wants to do. And then off that, obviously, you work off the play action pass. So I think those are things he wants to do. He has a history of being his dad was a Denver Broncos coach. And it's all about offensive line, about running game. So I think that's where he wants to kind of set the tone for this football team and then work off of that with the passing game.
Yeah, I think a Klint Kubiak offense is run the ball downhill. And the main reason why I say that is you've seen all the guys that came up here, even the center. Linderbaum came up here and said, we're going to run that football. So I think getting off the bus, he wants to run the football. We've seen the two-back system last year. Obviously, you have a really good one here in Ashton Jeanty, but he wants to run the football. So for me, you're going to start with the run game. And then, to be honest with you, he lived in 2 tight end sets last year. Mm-hmm. You had a big-time playmaker in JSN, but he lived in 2 tight end sets. We have 2 really good tight ends here that can move and catch as well. So I think it's going to be some run the football, 12 personnel, be able to play action pass off of it.
All right, I expect we're going to see a lot of our next guest in his second year in the NFL. We're welcoming in Jack Bech to the set, number 18. Raider Nation here to greet him. The second-round pick of the Raiders 2 years ago. Welcome in. Good to see you, Jack.
What's up, man? Good to see you again. Nice to see you. All right.
What's up, my good brother? How you living?
Good
yes,
to
sir.
See you. How are you?
Doing great.
Have a seat. Well, I'll tell you, there is a lot of buzz around you because we just didn't feel like we saw enough of you last year. We really didn't. We so excited being, a second-round draft pick and being somebody that we know the talents there and the versatility, not as just a pass catcher but as a blocker as well. What are you looking forward to the most coming into this year as far as what you learned from last year? Do you probably feel like you got your head on a little more straight coming in to the second year? You got your bearings now. What are you excited about? Like, okay, I got this.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think I'm just excited about the group of people we have, from top down, from the coaches to the players. We have an amazing staff, obviously offensively, the play calling, everything we've been putting in. All the different schemes we have, and I heard y'all talking about it while I was sitting there. But a huge emphasis on the run game. They're talking about we're going to be we're going to run the ball a lot. So us as receivers, we got to be willing to block. So that's one of my favorite parts about the game, just being able to go down, crack a safety, do the dirty work. So I'm super excited for the ways that I'll be able to get to do those things this season, is be able to go down, crack safeties, get my guys run lanes and break away big plays because we got some special players in the backfield. But I'm just excited about everything. I'm excited about Coach Kubiak. Like I said, all the QBs we got coming in, the skill players. You know, it's going to be a really good year, and I'm excited for it.
I have covered wideouts for a long time in the NFL. I have never had one say my favorite thing to do is to crack safeties, to block. Every single wideout will tell you my favorite thing to do is catch the ball, give me the ball. And I think that's what makes Jack unique as another wideout.
Yeah, I was trying to get out of there on them crack blocks. check out of that. Check out of that. As a wide receiver, where are you most natural? Is it the Z, the X? You like playing in the slot more? Because for me, I was an X. Coach tried to move me to the slot. I looked him dead in the eyes, and I said, sir, this is not what I do. It's too much happening in here. You got to be a whole lot quicker. Put me on the outside. I'm big, strong. I can run. I like to be on the outside. What's your most comfortable position that you feel like you could have the most impact in on offense?
Yeah, I feel like Z in the slot. You know, I think being able to work the slot, you know, be able to be in there, be able to crack safeties, you know, do all the dirty blocking from the slot. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of motions, you know, a lot of ways to get to see what the defense is doing, get guys in different ways to get guys open, create different mismatches. But I would definitely say the slot and then working to the field, you know, as a Z receiver, just being able to, you know, mismatch a corner, you know, out physical them, you know, whatever I can to be able to get open, get the rock, go move the chains for some first downs, get open and help the team any way possible.
Yeah. Usually the advantage of a second, third year is that you're in the same system, right? So just kind of crossover. Obviously, new system here. What are the things that will help you from last year? Could be some similar things, or so what has this offseason been about for you as far as a mental standpoint?
Yeah, I think mentally, you know, I think just having that first year under my belt, being able to see the different ways defenses disguise themselves, being able to see the way nickels line up, the way safeties roll out of there, 2 high, 1 high shell coverages, 0 blitzes with guys capping each other, just different things like that. I think from the mental standpoint, just being able to truly, you know, recognize, obviously, year to year, it's going to get better with the more experience I get under my belt. But then coming into this year, you know, this whole offseason, just being able to learn the system that we now have in place. And there's a lot of really small details about the offense. You know, if that's route conversions, if that's run game, you know, if it's structure rules, what we're doing in the run game to help the tight ends and the running backs out. But all the little details, all the little nuance of the game, you know, I feel like that's something that, you know, this staff, you know, they really emphasize a lot is all the little details and how the little details build up to the big details. And I just, like I said, couldn't be more excited about this year coming up.
Good job, man.
I know you've entrenched yourself in the Vegas community. We saw you ring the siren at the Golden Knights game. Were you a hockey fan before that?
I was not, to be completely honest.
Yeah, they were where you're from.
They're hot now, though.
Yeah.
They're hot now. They're doing one hell of a job. So, you know,
you can learn how to hit by watching them, can't you?
Say it again?
Those blocks you're talking about, you can learn how to hit by the way they check.
Oh, yeah, especially when you're on the glass and people's heads are bouncing off the glass.
You got to love that
it's
as
nasty
a football
for sure.
player.
Yeah.
Where does that grit come from with you? I mean, was it always part of your – there you go. Get pumped up. Where does that grit come from when you first kind of realized you were a little bit more of a gritty player? You did like doing the extra stuff, not just catching passes.
Yeah, I think growing up in South Louisiana, you know, I think you get a lot of the guys out that area, you know, got a little bit of extra grit to them, you know, just coming up the way we're raised and stuff like that. And I think it's just the way we play football down there. You know what I mean? You know, I think Texas might have the best high school football team-wise, but I think Louisiana, you know, athlete-wise and just solo players has the best, just because the way we're brought up, the way we go,
keep going,
the way we're born, you know, the way we gotta go get it. You know what I mean? Out of Texas, they got these facilities that look like this in Texas. You know, they got facilities that look like this in Texas.
Come on, you know something about that college. You know what it is.
You don't even live in California.
I'm born and raised in California. Yeah,
boys are going to high school in Arizona.
Hey, man, I'm from the South, you know, Texas, Louisiana. Alabama and Florida. No, I gotta ride with it. No, I gotta ride with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with repping the dirty South.
Yeah, come on now.
Dirty South for nothing. It is gritty down there, that's for sure.
100%.
And you guys train in the heat. And y'all know the humidity and the bugs, and that's what
it's a different heat, though. It's a different heat up there.
Yeah, it is.
Different heat, though.
Yeah, bugs. I know. Trying to try us, Cali
bugs
boys.
in California, 72 and sunny.
Yeah, no type of bugs out there.
Jack, when you look at the opportunities, as far as your role this year, you know, are you expecting to have a bigger role? What have you been told? What have you been told about competing for a bigger role this year? Because we would like to see it.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I think at the end of the day, you know, it just comes to coming in this building every day, trying to be one of the first ones in here, one of the last ones to leave, putting in the work. And, you know, I think the key word is gaining that trust from the coaches and from the teammates, especially from the QBs. So, you know, just coming in here every day, putting in the work, showing them how much I care and how much I love football. Then obviously the main thing, though, is the main thing. It's going out on the field and just proving it day in, day out, you know, getting open, catching every ball that comes my way. You know, and that's what I'm focused on right now. You know, just getting my body, you know, finishing out mandatory minicamp as best as possible, getting my body in the best shape I can during these next few weeks and coming into training camp and, you know, busting butt each and every day and then turn that over to the season.
I heard you speak on the offense. You say it's a lot of movement, a lot of motions and all that. How are you picking up the offense? Because I know it's probably a whole lot different than it was last year when you come to Klint Kubiak's offense with a lot of movement and motion. And how are you picking it up?
Really well. You know, that's something I definitely pride myself on, is being able to go out there, know all the plays, knowing all the different spots, whether that be the slot, XZ, whatever it may be. Again, that's something I put a lot of time in, you know, before I go to bed, whenever I wake up in the mornings throughout the day, is just looking throughout the playbook, seeing, like I said, all the little nuances, what they're huge on, all the little details throughout the routes. But I think my big thing is being able to see all of it and seeing how everything works together. You know, I think that's something I also pride myself is understanding concepts, and understanding if you're the first read, if you're the third read,
Absolutely.
you know, being able to put a little more sauce on it, or if you got to go win right now, just being able to understand those little details, you know, I think it's going to help me make a big jump from year 1 to year 2.
Jack Bech, I can't wait to see what you do in year 2.
Yep.
I know Raider Nation is with me on that. A lot of opportunity for you. We know you'll take advantage of it, and we can't wait to see you at training camp. Thanks for being here with us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Appreciate you,
that'll do it for our show. Raider Nation, Jack Bech.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see ya. Thanks so much for stopping
JJ, were you
by.
like that in year 2?
Well,
Like just kind of.
Well, I'll let you guys
Processing the
argue. I'll let you guys argue off camera, because that'll do it for us, guys. We appreciate you joining in. 4 hours of live coverage. Be sure to stay. Raiders.com, Raiders official YouTube channel. All of your favorite interviews will be posted, so be sure to check them out if you missed them live. For JJ, for EA, I'm Amber Theoharis. We'll see you next time, everybody.